I hate that you can see like my pillow like that on the YouTube stream. Anyway, it was 12:30, so yeah. 12:30? Right. Wait. I think when I like went to bed, it was like 1:30. It's so funny because Reef was like on Reef, you were like in your bed, and I'm like, I'm not on camera and it's dark, but I'm also like in my bed like this. It was really funny. Um, let me starting the stream on YouTube. Uh, it is annoying to like have to do this during the stream, like is going on, but it saves me so much time later on because I don't have to download the stream onto my phone. Reef was so EP, girl. I was so EP. I'm in chapter 9 now of Two's Company. I've already cried due to miscommunication. See, when I cried in Two's Company, it was due to miscommunication. Like, I haven't cried. I'm not going to spoil it, but some stuff happens. And I didn't cry when that stuff happened because I was like, I know they're going to be fine. But like when it was like miscommunication stuff and all of that, I was like, check the fruit bowl when you can. I've been off of Discord. Like I haven't checked the Discord. I just saw some of the stuff that you guys were talking about, but I don't know. Did you pin that? Should I check it? Do you want me to check it now? I'll just check it for funsies and see what's happening. Oh my god, hi Jabberwocky. I didn't know if you'd be able to join. Why is there 50 plus new messages since 6:44 p.m.? What are you guys talking about? Hello. Reef is going crazy in there. Predictable. I'm like, this is I don't know what else I expected. This is incredible. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is great. This is incredible. When you said check the fruit bowl, I thought I should have known it was just going to be y'all being thirsty as fuck. Oh my god. Not me laughing making me cough. I know a lot of you guys can't see what I'm looking at right now, but it's really I'm just like I'm not gonna read all of it, but this is really, really fun. Exactly. I can't watch the video right now, but I'm sure it's great. Remind me to watch the video that Reef sent later. Oh my god. I swear I'm not dying. Okay, y'all. No, because you got thirsty. Artie, are you screen sharing the stream on YouTube? Yes, I am. I wasn't screen sharing the Discord. Don't worry. I have a separate tab with Unchanging Polaris, and Discord is on another tab. Don't worry. I wasn't screen sharing the Discord. Artie, Reef fell down the stairs. I'm so sorry, Reef. Was that the bruise? I was just like skimming. I was just skim reading. How many times do we have to tell her before she notices? She's already bruising. I am not screen sharing the chats. Don't worry. Reef, I'm so sorry. I hope it doesn't hurt much right now. And I hope you're doing better. And I love you. Don't worry, guys. I'm not screen sharing it. Also, I saw that you asked Jabberwocky. We're reading the Unchanging Polaris, chapter 6. I said this before. I know there are some people who hadn't read the Unchanging Polaris, but it's because it's like mostly fluff and just like girls going on dates. Like, I don't think it should be that crazy, like spoilers wise, if you want to hang out. But I will say this is chapter 6 and it's called hashtag OT3 Sunlight Sisters. So it seems like we're gonna get some stuff. So just putting that out there. Wait, never mind. Already saw that video. What video? I saw your bicep, don't worry. Oh my god. Congrats. Knackeredville lit up tiny tiny hot dog. I don't know what that means. Sometimes stuff happens on TikTok and I'm like, that looks fun. No, Artie, it was the bruise. Oh, I see. I just saw the thirsting. Because that's what I tend to notice. Is my TikTok spacing? I don't know. What does that mean? Okay, y'all. It's not my fault the girls like me acting BF. Well, yeah, I'm not blaming them. And no, it's not your fault, but it God forbid a girl likes it. It glitched on my end. Oh, if it glitched on your end, I didn't see poor Reeve 30 plus times. So if you're worried about that, don't worry about it. She moved the fridge. What do you want from me? I manhandled the fridge that I didn't realize. 150 plus pounds. Did you do it while like? Do you have like a video of it that people are freaking out over? Okay, guys, I can't. The polycule stuff. I can't keep talking about that. We have a long chapter to read. Okay, I'll check out the Discord. It's just such a long chat. Like, I have to go back. Can someone just send it to me? Can someone just DM it to me? Please DM it to me. I'll check it out. I've just not been on Discord. Unstable connection. That's so sad. Yeah, I'll read the chapter. This is why Toss was getting mad at me last time. So the summary. This is part 1 of Rumi finally getting emotional constipation. She's still constipated this entire chapter, though, just so you know. So the part 2 would be chapter 7, and then hopefully everything gets resolved. Okay, the first note being, okay, I lied. This isn't the last concert chapter because it was getting so long and too much was happening, so I had to split it up into 2. Typical Jamie business. You'll get the last part to Rumi's emotional constipation plus a short and sweet epilogue in 2-ish days. And I'm going to do those 2 chapters in one live, which I'm thinking will be on Friday. Mild warning, Seline is here. Not monstrously evil, but not Arthur Morgan redemption level. The whole Seline things goes out to my eldest Asian daughters with rocky relationship. Shout out. You love her, you might even understand her, but you fundamentally disagree. I see you, Monarch. Love, Jamie. Hi. I still need to read so many other things before I can get to the Unchanging Polaris. So no spoilers, but might check back. That's fair. Hello. Rumi likes to think of herself as the problem solver between the 3 of them. Typical. The smart one, really, but it's something she calls herself in her head because she knows that it would spark way too much debate between her and her girls when they should know it as a mere fact. As the leader of Huntrix, she's always been delegated to the one who shows up to every meeting, the one to coordinate schedules, to send emails, to write out their award acceptance speeches, and so on and so forth. Just basic leader stuff. She has a floor length list of duties and responsibilities, but Rumi doesn't really see it as a bad thing, honestly. Um, Side tangent already, but I did which Huntrix members. Like Sophia would easily me. I think the one I was struggling with was Mira. Who did I say was Zoe? Who did I say was Zoe? Oh my god. Who did I say was Zoe? Anyways, side tangent. Typical with me. She loves thinking. She loves working and she loves making sure that everything goes smoothly for the group so that they could succeed. There's no point in rewarding herself with bathhouse trips if she doesn't do anything to deserve it. And thus, the working, the thinking. But sometimes, maybe she really does think too much. Who could blame her, though? After Mira had dropped that bomb on her, having the impertinence to ask her that, and right after she had spent weeks trying to keep her mind calm for the upcoming tour ahead, how couldn't she think? Oh my god. Again, it's me thinking like just talk with each other, girls. You're all thinking the same thing. It's especially impossible after they had gone home from the aquarium and she had heard them whispering in Zoe's room after she finished taking her shower. Rumi wasn't one to intrude and eavesdrop, even if she really wanted to. So she didn't stick around long enough to hear anything after. We can wait. I don't mind if you don't. We can just. So after 1,000 hypotheses in the shower and twisting and turning in bed, Rumi comes to two conclusions. One, the fan shipping stuff online has got to stop because she's kinda, maybe, possibly, perchance, conceivably, feasibly certain that she doesn't like them like that, and it's just messing with her head. Two, Zoe and Mira are keeping a secret from her. You keep denying. Okay. She knows they are from the way that they always seem to jump whenever she walks into a room, like she just caught them doing something bad, when all they were doing was being cuddled up to one another, or how they stare at her when they think she isn't looking at them, or how they whisper, which is fine. They're allowed to do that a million times over if they wanted to. Rumi has spent years holding the biggest thing back from them. So, a tiny secret that they seem to be holding back from her isn't the end of the world. Hell, they might just be keeping back their plans to throw her a birthday party, which happens to be in 2 months. They've done that before. They're so precious. She just doesn't know why it bothers her so much. The back of her obvious answer to her. Just ask them about it. Knowing them, they'd probably cave in and tell her about whatever secret they're withholding from her in 2.5 seconds flat. They'd probably be happy to give it, really, if they knew that it was bothering her so much. It's never been in Zoe and Mira's nature to keep things from her intentionally, that much she knew. But Rumi is stubborn, and probably a little too stubborn. Working through it in her own head probably isn't the best way to go about things, but it's the comfortable choice. The only choice to her, sometimes. So, for the next few weeks before their tour, Rumi thinks, and she thinks hard. She thinks all the time. She thinks about what Mira asked her back in. Do you like her? With that tone, like she already knows something that Rumi doesn't. And the way that Mira still looked at her, like she was stealing herself to have a drink poured on her. She thinks about Zoe, wonderful, sweet Zoe, who she can't ever imagine not having in her life. She thinks about Mira, who is just as wonderful, who is just as sweet and loving and encompassingly Mira. She thinks about the set list, The blockings, their visa checks, the interviews, Zoe's giggles pressed against her cheek when they go to midnight showings for movies, Mira's deep chuckles that she can feel against her ear when they cuddle on the couch, the way their hands feel so warm in hers, the way that they look at her like she is the moon against the lapping tides. She thinks of how happy she feels with them, the happiest she's ever been, how she would dive in. Oh my god. Over and above all her other overlapping thoughts, that she isn't in love. Rumi just isn't. There's a lot of reasons that she comes up for not being in love because platonic relationships exist, platonic cuddling exists. They're too busy for that. They're better off as friends. They're better off without her, among other things. Okay, let's unpack that. Platonic relationships exist. Yes, yes. Platonic cuddling. Okay, yes. Okay, we got. Okay. They're better off without her is always the like recurring theme here, and it's like no, no. But it's like I see that. I do see it. It's with this fic, it always comes back to the line between platonic and romantic. I've said this over and over again. I made it like the little scrolly thing on my straw page. You have to be in love with your friends. You do. But no, but like she's the struggle is so real because she is right. It is right. Rumi, let yourself love. That's what I'm saying. But like she's not wrong. It's a fair thing to think. Like it is denial, yada yada yada. She is not wrong. Okay. So Rumi isn't your poor pillow isn't gonna survive this stream. Put Cinnamoroll down. What did he do to you? He's fine. He's fine. So, Rumi isn't in love. It's a definitive fact. It's practically her mantra to herself twice every hour. Every time Mira tucks her hair out of her face in the morning with that sleepy smile. Every time Zoe's cold hand slides over her stomach when she's still so tired. I'm not in love. I'm not in love. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Even if you're platonic, you can be in love. Like that's what I'm getting at, I think. Like yes, you are in love. You are. You just are. She's not in love. She's just frustrated that she keeps thinking about it. And when she gets a little sick, just a week and a half before their first concert in Seoul, Rumi can't help but blame all of her thinking on it. It starts with their morning dance, all the plaguing image stamped behind her eyelids of Mira immediately stopping the music to come over to her with a tissue and a frown on those pretty lips. You okay, babe? Mira had murmured to her. Such an innocent question that pokes at the fire underneath her navel, roaring it to roaring it to life for a whole of 3 seconds before Rumi desperately has to stamp it down. But not before that demon that lives behind her ear whispers, call me that again, but make it real. Make me yours. Like, you get what? Oh my god. Also, I'm gonna fix this because it's bothering me. Like, oh my god. That's it. I'm taking a lap. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm sorry. I know I talked about like my romantic feelings for friends in my like stream yesterday. I did a whole lore drop. But like it's the feeling. The thing is if you don't accept it now, it's going to keep coming back over and over and over again. And you'll be like, "Oh shit, I am in love with them." Like you're just going to keep realizing it over and over again. Just accept it. It's going to keep coming back. Ugh. Okay, whatever. Then a then a couple tickles behind the throat when they're in the studio, and the thought of how sweet Zoe was to brew her some tea during their break, and how something like, "You can take a nap on my lap if you need to." Nah, you can take a nap on my lap if you need it, Bubby. under the gentle lull of their background music. How she wanted to just cling on to Zoe for the rest of the night. Then she's bedridden for 2 days. It's nothing bad. Celine has taught her a long time ago that saying that an illness has gotten bad must make it worse. Fair. But even without that thought nagging in the back of her mind, really, it isn't too bad. It's just a mild cold, she had assured her girls that morning when she had to drag her blanket across the floor because she was too cold to come out of the room without it. Really, I'll be fine in like 2 days. It's not as bad as the time Zoe got scarlet fever last tour. But oh, how lucky she knows she is to have them. Because they spent 2.5 days by her bedside every single day of every single hour. Spoon feeding her Zoe's grandma's world famous chicken noodle soup recipe, while Mira made sure to massage her feet every hour, no matter how much she warned her how sweaty and clammy they would be. This is what I needed this week, chat. This is what I needed. I need Amira and Zoe by my side while I'm bedridden. Like that's all I'm asking for. Like, is that too much? I'm just asking for two girlfriends to take care of me and like call me princess. um they would sing to her too. They'd pat her back and bring her to sleep with their gentle voices and wake her with gentle pats to the shoulder and those same wonderful voices. If Rumi had died yesterday and woken up to those voices, she would have left the earth without a single regret. Sometimes Jamie will write sentences and I'll be like, okay, now I want to kill myself. From the beauty of it. From the beauty of it. But just as promised, Rumi gets better by the third morning. There's still a slight scratch in her throat. Oh, thank you. There's still a slight scratch in her throat, and she still needs to keep a few tissues in her pocket just in case some snot comes out during their more intense choreographies. But she doesn't feel like she's dying anymore. When she comes out of her room on that third morning, visibly less pale and sticky than yesterday, Zoe and Mira are already jumping up from the couch to check on her. Oh, Rumi, look at you! Zoe squeals, and she doesn't seem to remember the rule they had about making sure not to touch each other in case of transmission when she goes to hug Rumi around the neck. Zoe pulls her back to take a closer look. Rumi is giving her that wobbly. You look so much better, Zoe says excitedly, fingers on her chin to move her cheeks from side to side. Right, Mira? Mira squints at her face. She doesn't have her glasses on right now, which warrants the squinting and the tilting of her head. It's cute. The back of her mind pipes up, and Rumi stomps on it before it can get any louder. You don't look like a morgue victim anymore, which is good, Mira comments, which is close to a compliment from her as any. Rumi already has a retort on her tongue, but then Mira puts a gentle hand on her waist, and it's like her mouth gets stuffed with one of her clammy songs. Mira doesn't tug or push, but it still pinches Rumi's breathing. Doesn't mean you're completely fine, though, Mira murmurs, almost to herself. She's still watching Rumi closely, like she's waiting for her to faint or fall right into her arms. Honestly, Rumi almost wants to. Sighing fondly through her nose, Rumi answers, I'll be fine. I'm the least prone to getting sick between the three of us, and you guys know it. I'll be 100% there by the time we have to get on stage. We could cut down on practices, Zoe pipes up. Rumi's eyes cut over to her in disbelief. Zoe is unperturbed as she shrugs and places her hand on the other side of Rumi's waist. Unlike Mira, she does squeeze. At least it isn't her. What? Whoa. At least it isn't her ass this time. See? They're still reeling back from hashtag Huntrix Assgate from a week ago when Zoe playfully grabbed a handful of her cheek at Fashion Week. See, I've never done that to my friends. See, I've never done that. What the hell? Um, Freak Zoe. I love you, Freak Zoe. I'm fine. You did it? No, guys, I can't do this right now. Totally platonic behavior. Exactly. We already know all of the choreography and blocking, Zoe defends. Mira is bobbing her head in agreement with every word. It's not like we have to do more. Honestly, I think you got sick because we practiced so much of it already. Agreed, Mira says smoothly. Her fingertips creep closer underneath the hem of Rumi's shirt as she rubs the spot there. You could probably use the rest, Rumi, especially with the concert getting so close. We don't need the rest because it's getting close, Rumi insists, but it sounds weak even to her. Mira just snorts. Right, like there's any other reason why you're getting sick. There is. It's the thinking. But she doesn't tell them that because why should she? How about we take a day off today then? Zoe asks, gently but firmly. She slides her hand over to Rumi's forearm and squeezes. Rumi hates how easily it makes her relax. There's a really great restaurant that opened up down the street. Maybe we can eat there today for lunch, Zoe suggests. Rumi presses her lips together. She's thinking again about their entire schedule today and how they're supposed to be at a radio interview before noon and how they're supposed to look over how they like the VFX for their music video that will be launching tomorrow. If you start thinking about it any harder, your head's gonna start smoking, Rumi, Mira says, partially amused. Rumi can detect the slight edge of worry in it, though. Let's just call up Bobby and let him handle things for today, okay? One day of relaxation isn't going to kill you. Rumi's shoulders drop. Zoe picks some lint off of her shirt. Mira's fingers have finally slid under the hem, and she can feel how warm Mira feels with the barest press. Are you sure you guys are fine with that? Rumi asks hesitantly. She's crossing her arms over her stomach again, in the way that she always does when she's unsure about things. And Zoe and Mira are quick to notice. Zoe, I know you haven't gotten the footwork down for some of the songs, and I know Mira's. We still have a couple of days to prepare, Zoe tells her adamantly, nose flaring. She nods her head at Rumi. We got this in the bag, Bubs. Seriously, we've gone through everything so many times that we can do it in our sleep. Zoe drops her head and pretends to be asleep on her feet. She snores loudly, going shh, shh, until Mira snorts and jabs her in the stomach. Zoe wakes with a startle and she giggles. Her laughter is cute. It sparks something in Rumi's stomach, and she screams at herself to stop. Stop, that tickles, she says through her laughter. But Mira just presses her fingers along the strip of her skin. Feel her smile tugging at her face. It's genuine in its regard this time. I mean, if you're sure about it, she starts. Calling up a restaurant. Wait, that was Rumi, sorry. I mean, if you're sure about it, she starts. Calling up the restaurant right now, Zoe exclaims, bouncing on her heels and spinning around with the phone in the air, copy and pasted on her screen, ready to dial. Mira shakes her head, fond. She smiles at Rumi in that same tender, affectionate way, and she doesn't seem to notice how Rumi's insides seem to melt as I'll get dressed and start the car. Just call me when you guys are ready. They're off to the restaurant in less than 20 minutes. It would have been 10 had they not fought over who took whose chapstick and gotten stumped over which skirt Zoe should wear. The fucking chap. Okay. They arrive at an all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue place, the best, and the smell of grilled meat hits their noses the moment that they walk in. Oh my god, I'm so excited to go to K barbecue and hear like Golden and like KPDH songs. I'm like, the thought just made me so happy. Oh my god, I love K barbecue. So cool. Okay. Rumi's stomach grumbles, mouth salivating. She definitely has good taste when it comes to restaurants. That much she could give. The waiter escorts them to a private room. The gesture surprises both Rumi and Mira, and they both look over at Zoe for answers. Zoe shrugs and waves her hand away, like it's no big deal. Her smile is big though, like she's glowing under the looks of shock on their faces. I called for a reservation and I told them it was the Hunter, lips curling into a wider smile. I was pulling their leg until I told Bobby to send them our autographs. You really are something special, huh, Zoe? Rumi remarks happily, and Zoe beams at her and bounces on the balls of her feet in joy. Mia takes to pinching her cheek. This is what I say when I mean Jamie has already said this in the description, but it's literally just them going on dates. That's what this fic is. It's literally just them going on dates. And it's great. And it's awesome. It's beautiful. The table they're taken to is a lot like a fancy leathered booth. Their waiter sets down two menus on one side of the booth table and one menu across. Rumi immediately tries to sit down on the side with the single menu, but then Zoe makes a strangled noise in the back of her throat, and Mira goes, bad. Rumi stares at them in disbelief, ass hovering her seat. Hey, I'm not your dog, she says, affronted. What is it with the dog motif? What is it with the dog motif? Guys, Rumi dog motif gets me so hard. And this is like a very slight mention of it, but like. Hello. Danny was like, this is not in the sense, this is not in the sense like, ooh, NSFW dirty thought. No, just like Rumi as their dog. Makes me sad. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. And, like they're joking about it right now, but like just the mention of it, I'm like, anyway, who cares? No one cares. No one cares. But they're both staring at her hard, like they're trying to discipline her with their disapproving looks. They even cross their arms to look down at her. Zoe points at the booth seat closest to them. Still slightly perplexed, Rumi gets up from her seat. Mira nods approvingly, then shuffles into the furthest side. Then Zoe looks at her again, and Rumi makes her way over and slides in next to Mira. Zoe slides in next to her. Rumi is squished between them. Rumi sandwich! I will call anything Rumi sandwich. Don't you guys start in the chat right now. If Rumi is in between, it's a Rumi sandwich. And so they're all on one side of the booth, knee to knee and elbow to elbow. The waiter just shrugs and slides all three menus in front of them. He tells them that he'll be back with some water to take their orders, and then walks away without another word. The booth seat across from them is totally empty. This is so real because like I went to K barbecue once with two of my friends, and one of them was in the like seat across from us, and like he was like, "No, you guys are so far away." Like it genuinely, the seats are far away. Like that, I get it. Rumi laughs under her breath as she opens her menu. The seating arrangement is a little silly, but she expects nothing less from Zoe and Mira. Besides, fitting three together is a lot comfier than she realized. What are you two thinking of getting? Rumi asks them mildly. She already knows the answers that they're going to say before it even leaves their mouths, and Rumi even mouths it to herself. Um, all the beef on the menu, and pork shoulder, and ribeye, Zoe answers excitedly. Rumi mouths her answer to herself in perfect sync, and she mouths along to Mira's answer of beef tongue and brisket. Rumi laughs about it under her breath. Zoe's elbow taps her right under the rib, all while she giggles with her. She can see Mira rolling her eyes next to her. What are you getting? Mira asks. Rumi's tongue runs over the inside of her cheek while she browses the menu, finger running over the bolded font. She hems and haws under her breath, then admits, I don't actually know. they all look really good. And I'm in that we'll eat anything mood, you know? Anything, huh? Zoe mumbles under her breath. Sly, what are you thinking? Rumi frowns and turns her head. What? What? Zoe says quickly. I, Zoe is a freak. Freakazoid. Freakazoid. Menu closer against her face so that Rumi can see her. The noise that comes out of Mira's mouth is something close to a laugh, but she coughs into her fist. And when Rumi turns to look at her, she's already straightening up and staring back at her menu. Anything you're eyeing? Mira decides to ask instead. Rumi hums. Good question. Maybe Hangjeongsal? Mira's lips cork up in the corner. Zoe glances at her for a moment, but it's long enough that Rumi can see the sparkle in that. That makes Rumi instantly suspicious. What now? She complains. I think we know exactly what you're going to end up ordering, Zoe declares. The exact order. Mira agrees. She's still smirking at Rumi, and her menu is placed down flat and down on the table like she doesn't even need to look at it. Really? Rumi challenges. The both of you got all that from one cut of meat that I want? Yep. Zoe bobs her head. There's not a single ounce of doubt in the way that she's looking at Rumi. Like what? Rumi challenges further. Mira cocks her head at her, sizing her up. Rumi almost wants to laugh in her face or stick out her tongue or sure. On the count of three, Mira suggests. Rumi tries not to roll her eyes and throw up her arms. She fails with the former. She says, Fine, but I'm not giving you guys any reward if you get it right. They've done this sort of thing before, and they always demand that Rumi do a random, absurd internet trend whenever she loses. Not that she loses a lot, just enough times, modestly. Maybe just most times. Oh, but Rumi, what if you are the reward? Zoe asks sweetly, batting her eyelashes at her and resting her head on her shoulder. I keep thinking about that photo of Ray Ami and EJ at the VMAs with Ray Ami's like head on her shoulder. Meh, so cute. Rumi scrunches up her shoulder to bat Zoe away. Yet she laughs, and her stomach sizzles like the grill. I'm serious, no stakes, she says firmly. Zoe pouts at that. There's still that stupidly pretty smirk on her face, and Rumi really, really wants to wipe it away. But Rumi nods instead. Mira lazily holds up three fingers. Rumi thinks, I want them in my. Then stomps on the demon in the back of her head like she wants it dead. Okay. Mira lets one fall after every second, and when the last one folds down, all three of them say in perfect sync, Hangjeongsal, Wagyu, jajangmyeon, pork salmon, more pork belly, mando, and then more pork belly. Beautiful. I love the longer it is, the better. The longer it is, the better. It's so funny. Rumi slams her hands on the table to look back and forth between them, mouth open. I'm not that predictable, she exclaims. She's lucky that they're in a private room. They've been kicked off by the premises by now, which would make it their new record after they got kicked out of their fourth Denny's in 3 minutes and 28 seconds. To us, you are, Zoe answers giddily. She's laughing and using her menu to cover her mouth, but it doesn't stop Rumi from feeling ashamed. How do you even get that from one thing I wanted? Rumi asks in disbelief, slumping back against the booth seat. Zoe rubs her thigh apologetically, but Mira doesn't look apologetic in the slightest. Mira shrugs, holding out her hands to take their menus. Rumi takes Zoe's, stacks it on top of hers, then hands it to Mira, who taps all three menus on the table to even it out. While reaching over to place the menu on the edge of the table, she explains, we didn't need to hear you we didn't need to hear you tell us the first cut you wanted, honestly. I think we both knew what you wanted from the start." Zoe eagerly nods in agreement. Rumi snorts. She doesn't believe that, especially not when there's no way the two of you knew what I wanted when I didn't even know it, she declares. Mira raises her eyebrows up high. Oh, yeah? What do you want to drink then? Zoe asks. She doesn't like day drinking. The answer is obvious to her, but apparently so is to the other two. Anything that doesn't have alcohol, Rumi responds, and so Mira and Zoe. Quit doing that, Rumi hisses at them, but her demand lands flat when it ends up coming out as squeaky. Her face feels warm. She doesn't want to look down at her hands to see if her patterns are flickering or glowing, because they most likely are. Zoe raises her hand up in surrender, but she's holding back a snicker. Once again, Mira is not so kind. She's unabashedly grinning at her. She even reaches behind Rumi's back to high five Zoe. As Rumi sinks further into the seat in embarrassment, Mira seems to finally want to take pity on her. She asks, "What do you want to drink then? Like, specifically, so we can order it as soon as our guy gets back." I don't know, maybe. Rumi's hands wave around in front of her, like she's trying to conjure up the image of her perfect drink. Citron tea? Zoe asks with a hum. She points up with her pointer finger. My granny always says that it helps with sore throats. Ginger tea could work a little better, Mira adds. She's playing a rhythm game on her phone, and Rumi leans her cheek against her shoulder to watch her play. Rumi doesn't like lemon that much, remember? Oh, right, right. Zoe bobs her head and rubs her chin in thought. So, ginger tea and water for Rumi? Sounds good. Mira agrees. Rumi grumbles at that. Oh no. She can feel Zoe reach for her fingers and snatch it over to her lap to play with. Rumi keeps watching Mira play while Zoe squishes each of her knuckles to keep herself entertained. I love the ask me for my input. Rumi deadpans. Do you want something else? Mira asks without looking up from her phone. Rumi pauses. No. She mumbles quietly. Oh, they're so silly. Gay. True. To be loved. Artie, your mirror voice makes me giggle and kick my Anything for you, baby. Also, Rose, I love your voice. I love your voice. Your GFs love and know you. Yeah. Okay. Zoe giggles and Rumi doesn't have the energy to kick her in the shin or pull away her hand for it. She's not that cruel after all. She can see Mira smiling to herself while she plays from the corner of her eye. The waiter comes back after a couple minutes. He apologizes for the wait, then pulls out the table to mark down their orders. Mira lists down their drinks. She orders a pitcher of water, Rumi's ginger tea, and two Pepsi. Fucking Pepsis. Fucking Pepsis. It's okay. It's okay. I'm traumatized at this one. Okay, yeah, I guessed it. Well. Could you add a milk carton to the side? Rumi pipes up, jerking her head towards Zoe. No, we need to end it. We need to end the milk agenda. I'm so hypocritical for saying that. Like, I tried it. I tried it because I got curious. And now it's everywhere. It's everywhere. No, a milk carton. Oh, Jamie, when I get you, Jamie. Oh my god. Okay. Mira glances at her, surprised but thankful, but also slightly disgusted. Zoe squeezes her fingers hard in thanks. Their waiter nods along to it, around on his screen. He asks if they would like any. I feel weird when I ask for milk in my tea. Like when I do that. I love to do that when I'm like on the plane and they offer tea and I'm like, could you add a bit of milk with that? Because it's like British, whatever. But I really like milk with, oh my God. I really like tea with milk. And I feel weird asking even that. This is so funny. How did Pilk even start? I mean, Pilk was a thing. Pilk was a thing before Jamie started it. Like it was a thing I think during the pandemic. I just like didn't see it until I read Candy Floss, and then it was like trending on like K-pop Demon Hunters Twitter, like everyone trying Pilk and Jamie collecting all the photos of everyone trying Pilk. And now I'm like, stop the Pilk craze. Did I just unmute the stream to hear tea with milk is weird? No, it's not weird. The thing is, tea with milk is not weird, but like I get scared that like I don't know, maybe it's just me as a Turkish person thing, but tea is like very big in Turkish culture, and I feel like if I ask for milk with my tea, it will be like, oh my god. Like, oh my god, how dare you do that? But no, I know it's not weird. It's not weird. That's not what I'm saying, but I feel weird asking for it. Like I'm just saying how weird it would feel to ask for milk after asking for Pepsi. I guess the UK is weird. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Hey, I won't go bashing like British like food and things. Guy, I love black pudding. I'll say that right now. I love beans on toast. I love like I like this is like me having been to the UK once, but like I really loved my time there. I'm not going to go bashing it. My you may need some milk for that cough. Shudders of America. Guys, don't go bashing black pudding. Don't like it is very much like you either love it or you hate it thing. Like I personally love it. Like I love my salty stuff. I love my salty stuff and I love sausage. And like if you don't think about it as like, oh, this is blood, you're eating blood. It's really yummy. Not you guys judging the UK after drinking milk. I'm too for this. Have you ever had haggis? I have not. I would try it though. I have not though. Okay, let's go. Let's go. This is enough. This is enough. We came here from Pilk. Oh my god. I'm sinking. I'm sinking. I just sank. Hello? Sorry, my chair sank. Okay. Demarumi justifying a blood craving would look like. Are you calling me Demon Rumi? Because you know what? I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Oh my god, I keep dropping stuff. Stay there. Okay. Where was I? Oh my god. The waiter nods along to it and taps around on his screen. He asks if they would like anything else, and Zoe answers in one breath. All the beef on the menu, pork shoulder, ribeye, beef tongue, briskets, and all of Rumi's expensive cuts. It's impressive how she could memorize all of it. Might as well say it without taking a breath. Perks of being the rapper, she supposes. Period. Uh, Sweating under the collar, the waiter has to ask her to repeat it a second time, which Zoe obliges at a slower speed. He gets it all, repeats it to them, then lets them know it'll be 5 minutes before the first cuts will be out. He sets their grill ready, then leaves. Zoe laughs lightly under her breath and touches Rumi's knee to get her attention. Did you guys see the guys' eyes bulge when I asked for all that meat for our first round? She asks happily. Mira exhales through the nose, amused. Oh, yeah, definitely. He probably thought we weren't going to finish it all. Can't wait to see his face when we order 7 rounds, Rumi says happily. She's already considering preemptively undoing her belt to prepare for it all. Hope we can do 7 rounds of something else soon. Oh, that was a mumble. Sorry. Hope we can do 7 rounds of something else soon, Zoe mumbles. Huh? Rumi asks, genuinely confused. Huh? Zoe says quick. I I said this on my Twitter before, but I want to make a TikTok of like my favorite Zoe lines from like the fics I read, and like if I was reading this offline, like this would go there. Um because Zoe always, you fanfic authors love making Zoe say whatever. And it's great. And I'm having so much fun. It's great. She turns to look over at Mira, whose lips are curled into her mouth to keep from cackling. Oh my god. Hey, Mira, are you gonna grill for us this time? She asks instead. Oh, sorry, that was Rumi. Hey, Mira, are you gonna grill for us this time? She asks instead. She'll let Zoe be weird for one day. If I was doing this as like an actual audiobook, I would like color code every line because it gets so confusing. Um, duh, Mira says, like it's the most obvious thing in the world. She puts down her phone to look over at them. Have we ever eaten somewhere where I wasn't grilling for you both? They smile at her apologetically. Rumi, in particular, is a little worried that it means Mira's tired of it. I could grill this time if you'd like, Rumi offers. Mira looks deeply offended at that. She looks more offended by what she said than the time a fan came up to her and asked her if she stole her choreography from someone and if she lip synced her lines on stage. In the same breath, too. I despise that you thought that question over and didn't see what was wrong with it enough to ask, Mira says flatly. She turns off her phone and slides it back into her pocket to shift her body to look at her. No, Rumi, you or Zoe will not be grilling this time. Or ever. Why not? Zoe whines. Rumi bumps her shoulder with hers while she chuckles. Because you burnt your hand the first and last time you did it? She guesses lightly. Well, how am I supposed to live and learn if I never do it again? Zoe argues. Mira shrugs. I mean, if you really want to, I'm not going to stop you, but I like doing it. You do? Rumi is more surprised to hear her say that. Mira looks confused that she looks confused about it. Yeah, why? Mira asks, almost defensively. I don't know, just Rumi tries to fish for the right words. She doesn't want to offend Mira again on a deeper level than she just had. Every single time we've had to eat out with the crew or another group together, you always seem at least you always seem at least a little annoyed whenever they'd ask you to take care of the grill. A little annoyed is a deep understatement. One time when they were eating out with some higher ups at the company, all bald, withered looking men, Mira looked like she wanted to sink her tongs into their eye sockets when one of them said, "Just put some of that on my plate, honey, thanks." To be fair, Rumi and Zoe would have done it for her. Mira had to kick them both in the ankles to stop glaring and to stop from thinking about pulling out their weapons from the Honmun. But maybe the Honmun would confuse those men for demons and still cut through them. Sometimes Rumi wishes that she had tested that hypothesis. Oh, Mira blinks at Rumi's answer. Yeah, well, if it's for other people, but it's not for you two. But it's for you two. It's for you two. It's always been that simple for them, hasn't it? It really is. It really is so simple. Also, Mira is so right. Like, I am always the person who does the cooking when we go to K barbecue as well. I just love it. I just like it. Um, well, it depends. I do some of the cooking. Like I like having tongs. I like having tongs. I like to be in control when it comes to the food. Oh my god. Ooh, still recovery. Still recovery. The waiter comes back with a small cart of their meats and side dishes before Rumi can come up with a reply to that. She's unendingly thankful for it. Zoe passes down the plates and the banchan, and Rumi hands over the tongs to a proud-looking Mira. Mira gives the tongs a few test clicks. Zoe snorts. What's so funny? Mira demands. You look like every American dad at a barbecue, Zoe answers in amusement. She looks up at the ceiling to think, then adds, except like not bald. And also, you look hot doing it. Yeah, it's attractive, Rumi drawls. She slides her chopsticks over her fingers to pick out a pickle. Good with kids and you could cook? I'm surprised you don't have a wife yet, Mira. Okay. So we're saying stuff now. We're saying stuff now. We are saying stuff now. Okay. Good. Okay. Mira ducks her head away from them. Rumi feels a little giddy and accomplished that she managed to fluster Mira before the clock struck noon. To be fair, I also do love flustering my friends. I also do love that. Like it's very fun. Then Mira starts putting a few slices of bulgogi onto the grill and mutters something like, "Yeah, I guess I'm just holding out for one or two." Beautiful. What? Rumi asks. Do you want some of the? Do you want some of my beef? Bleh, can't talk. I got like. Do you want some of my beef tongue? Mira asks instead, slightly louder. Zoe turns away suspiciously while she sips at her drink when Rumi tries to give her a shared look. I can cut up the pieces for you. I know you hate it when it's thick. But she'd want something else that's thick. Zoe starts to mumble. This would also go into my like quotes collection. But Mira reaches over and slaps the back of her hand with the clean tongs, and she swallows back the rest of her words with a chortle. Maybe a little bit? Rumi says, still blinking back her confusion and trying desperately to ignore whatever they're doing. They're definitely being so weird right now, but she just doesn't understand it. I was kind of hoping for some of the pork belly, Zoe guesses. She's already passing an entire plate of the stuff to Mira for her to start laying on the grill. uh, just right, she says proudly, smirking over at Mira like she won their silent game. Mira shakes her head. The tongue joke was right there and you didn't even go for it. She mutters. Zoe sticks her tongue out. Rumi sighs, fond and exasperated through her nose. She has no idea what's happening, but they both look so happy. So she is too. She the thing they are all they are all autistic in different ways is the funny thing. It's like, girl, like good for them. Good for them. Good for them. And I love them. I love them for it. The grill sizzles with every new cut of meat. The smell of it is heavenly, and all three of them take a moment to breathe it all in and sigh with joy. Rumi can feel her mouth salivating some more. The entire room is getting a little hot with the grill being so close, but Zoe makes sure to fan her with one of the drink menus. Rumi can hear the distinct chatter of the patrons in the public rooms next door. It makes her wonder if they could hear them roaring with laughter every time Zoe tells them about her bathroom endeavors, or their vociferous voices carry while they chatter about all the new gossip they heard in the industry. You will never guess who is the magnate of Psychford, who the magnate of Psychford told me she started going out with. Mira drawls, her eyes still glued to the grill. Oh my god, who? Zoe asks excitedly. Rumi presses in closer with her to listen. Mira puts down the tongs to look at them, her eyes shining with guile. The visual from SBF 100, she states. Zoe slams her fist on the table as she laughs, all while Rumi gasps like Mira had told her that she saw a ghoul. What? Rumi exclaims. She doesn't care if she's being too loud. No one's told them to pipe down just yet, and she wants to milk the moment as much as she can. Wasn't he the guy who said, on live television, mind you, that he thought she was a kid? I know, Mira says, throwing up her hands. She's nodding with her eyes wide in complete agreement. I told her that he was bad news, but all she told me was blah blah, thanks, Unni, and he's so sweet to me, and I think he just meant it as a joke or whatever. And oh, Zoe says, sticking out her tongue and wrinkling her nose in disgust. She passes Rumi a napkin from the napkin dispenser in the corner of the table. How did they even start going out? Did he slide into her DMs and go, "Hey, I know I called you a kid"? That makes Rumi laugh and grimace at the same time. Mira does the same thing. While Mira flips over some meat on the center of the grill, she asks, "Do you want to see our texts?" It was wild. I was trying so hard not to tell her to stab him with a blunt knife. Yeah? Rumi says, a little offended that she even had to ask. Hit us with it. Mira snorts. She digs into her back pocket and hands Rumi her phone without giving it another glance. I'm like eating this up. This is like fake fictional gossip, and I'm eating it up. This is great. She goes back to tending to their meat, while Rumi presses her shoulder against Zoe's to let her take a look at the screen. Rumi turns on the power button, and Zoe is the one to type in Mira's number code. It's 1410. The day and the month of the three of them met. Okay. Okay. Isn't it's the Jamie verse, and we're just living in it. Sorry. I saw 1410 and I was like oh my god. It is the Jamie verse and we're living in it, because why did that make me have like uh, anyways, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. It's always 1410. It doesn't matter. Oh, the day and the month the three of them met. It's Mira's password to everything, including her phone, gym locker, and laptop. Awesome. Brilliant. I have no feelings about this. Zoe's is 1014, and Rumi knows this partly because she loves to insist that month then day is a way better format. Rumi's passwords are all different 4-digit codes that she generates from a random number app. She's just like me. She's literally just like me. Okay. She loves to chide them about changing their passwords to make sure that they don't get hacked one day, like Zoe already had multiple times, every chance she gets. She's recently changed her password to her work laptop from Huntrix Girls to the World 123 to Zoe Mira 12345, but only because she had to take her laptop in for repairs last week and she needed a new password. And that was the only thing she could think of while standing at the computer repair shop, not because of anything else. I want to take Rumi and just like oh my god. Everything. Whatever. I'm gonna check the YouTube comment quick. Oh. Mm. What do you mean, Zoe? She has two wives. You and Ruby are the wives. Period. Rumi navigates to Mira's messages. She notes quietly to herself that there's only two people in her pinned contacts, her and Zoe. Not even Bobby has been given that privilege, though he's situated right below their contact names. He texted her just an hour ago to thank for the chocolates she got him. Wow, that's sweet. Zoe scrolls through her. She finds the magnet from Cypher. Cypher is such a funny name. I know it's a canon group in the movie, but it's still such a funny name. Rumi notes, once again against her will, how Mira has all of her contact names under indecipherable phone numbers or simple first names, except theirs, which are their simple first names, but with two emojis next to each of them. Zoe and a turtle and a blue heart, Rumi and a tiger and a purple heart. So cute. It's cute. It reminds her of how she had glanced at Zoe's phone last week and saw that their contact names on her phone were almost the exact same as they are in Mira's, except their names were in all caps. Then Rumi startles. She remembers the turtle and tiger emojis, but since when were there hearts next to her name and in Zoe and Mira's phones? I wonder what the reason is for that. I wonder what the reason is for that. She's not given the luxury to think about it. She's not given the luxury to think about it for any longer than that. Zoe clicks on the name of the magne and scrolls up their conversation until they find the start. Zoe reads it out loud for her and Mira. Zoe recites, Mira Anni, I know that you have your reservations about him, but he's totally a nice guy. Last week he remembered my favorite color. Okay, so Rumi laughs, but it's done so partly in pity. Mira puts some cooked pork belly on Rumi's plate, then some beef on Zoe's. Rumi squeezes the forearm resting on her thigh in silent thanks. Some guy remembering your favorite color isn't even the bare minimum, Rumi muses. He wants to lecture them about how it's important to date someone who not only knows your favorite color, but also how you like your eggs and what soups you'd like to drink when sick, like Zoe and Mira had. Okay. She wants to say something about how dating people you know who know your soul is incredibly important, but it brings forth the memory of literally seeing Zoe and Mira's souls when they had fought Krima, and Rumi has to clam her mouth shut. That scene makes me go bonkers insane. That the part where their souls glow makes me go bonkers, and then people have the nerve to be like, oh, they're just they don't have feelings for each other. The gay levels are getting high. Already though, he's fine, he's literally fine. I love that scene. Like, I had not noticed it on my first watch through, but then like everyone on Twitter was like, their souls literally glow, and they do. And then people have the nerve to be like, "Oh no, they're just like sisters." I know Guima was mad as fuck. Guima was mad as fuck for being like, the power of gay has destroyed me. Bisexual ass demon flame. Why is his colors that like that? Why is his colors like no? Because we were watching it for the first time ever, and we were like, why is he a bisexual flag? This is so funny. That color palette is just bisexual as hell. You and your dreadful little polycule haven't seen the last of me. Evil verse good bisexuals. Period. Okay. She picks up her chopsticks to pick up some pork belly. Instead of putting it in her mouth, she cups her other hand underneath the meat and brings it up to Mira's lips. Mira takes it gratefully. She chews for a while, then nods in satisfaction. Good? Rumi asks, even when she knows the answer. Chewy, Mira answers, but one corner of her lip is turned up slightly in approval. I can cook it for longer if you'd like. Can I try? Zoe asks and whines. Mira's phone is planted face down on the table, forgotten for now. Rumi laughs, but she indulges in Zoe's request. She wraps her pork belly in some lettuce and raw garlic first, in the way that raw garlic? Raw garlic? You gotta cook that shit. You gotta cook that shit on the. Zoe, what's wrong with you? Zoe is like, I shall become an anti-vampire weapon. Okay. Some lettuce and raw garlic first, in the way that Zoe likes her meat, then plops it into her awaiting mouth. Zoe turns her head from side to side while she chews, like she's seriously considering the flavor profile. Mira has her chin propped on a hand to watch her too, with that same smile that Rumi wears. Then Zoe announces, Chewy, I like it. Mira snorts. Told you. Rumi tries next. It tastes really good, and she can't help but close her eyes to enjoy the flavors. They're having their ratatouille moment. Good for them. When she opens her eyes again, there's more pork belly and other cuts of meat waiting for her on her plate. It's too much meat for just Mira to be the offender. Zoe has a second pair of tongs close to her plate while she scarfs down some rice and meat. So it was a two-person job after all. Her exhale is done so with amusement. They get back to reading the conversation on Mira's phone. Zoe reads it out loud, even when her mouth is full half the time. On brand, but neither of them seem to mind. They've long since deciphered Zoe's mumbling words in every context, including full of food, full of sleepiness, and when she has her entire face pressed against their chests in the middle of the night. That is such a cute, that is such cute imagery. I, I love that. I love that. All three of them gasp when Zoe reads out the part where the Magnet tells Mira that the guy she's seeing has skid marks, but that she doesn't mind washing it for him. Rumi turns to look at Mira. Why are you gasping? You already knew that. It's the way Zoe's saying it, Mira defends, pointing at innocent looking Zoe. It makes it sound worse than it already is. Zoe takes it as a compliment with a wide smile. They talk trash about the guy for half an hour. Then the conversation steadily smooths over to something about the music video from Society's new comeback. I guess Society? Society's new comeback. Then how good the meat tastes at the restaurant they're currently in. Then the debate if their waiter here is as cute as the waiter that they saw in Bangkok last year. They talk about how excited they are for their upcoming tour. Zoe moans about how she can't wait to sing in the karaoke bars back in Manila again, and Mira's jazzed about getting to relax in Osaka. Rumi doesn't have any particular desires for the trip like they do. She's just happy that she'll be with her girls, that she'll be traveling the world with them again, that she'll get to see them smile in every corner of the world, that she'll get to. No, she scolds herself. She keeps scolding herself for the next 2 hours they're there. She keeps telling herself that she isn't. See, here's the thing. It is normal to be excited to be traveling the world with your friends, but you're making it weird for yourself. You're literally making it weird for yourself. Like, why are you scolding yourself for saying that? Unless you have other feelings. Oh, gay. Oh my god. When Mira notices that she's only down to two more pieces of meat on her plate, she places some more. She gently slaps Rumi's hand away when she tries to reach over the grill to turn the meat herself. There are two different kinds of meats on the grill, meats on the more charred side for Zoe, and the perfectly marbled ones for Rumi. Let me do it, Mira insists, firmly but kindly. Yeah, Rumi, let the girl do her job, Zoe teases. But Zoe refills Rumi's water for her. She wipes away something from the corner of Rumi's mouth with a giggle. And Rumi thinks, I don't. I'm not. I swear I'm not. One of their songs plays on the quiet radio somewhere in the room. They sing along to it, but in odd, shrill tones to make Rumi laugh. And Rumi thinks, I'm not in love with you. I'm not. Mira puts some more of her and Zoe's favorite cuts of meat on the grill. You have some more beef tongue, Rumi says, tilting her head. You don't have to. I want to, Mira just says. She smiles at her. It's fine, Rumi, seriously. I'll put mine on after you two eat. I don't love you, Rumi thinks. Desperately, urgently, wildly. I'm not in love. I don't love either of you. Not like that. Zoe makes her a lettuce wrap. She stuffs it with all of Rumi's favorite vegetables. Say ah, she orders, and Rumi opens her mouth obediently with the same ridiculous ah noise. It makes Zoe laugh, and she feeds Rumi the wrap with the delicate, tender fingers. I don't love you, Rumi thinks, begs. Zoe and Mira laugh loudly, sincerely, wonderfully, when Rumi awkwardly jokes, "What do you call burnt chado biggie on the grill?" A mistake. Zoe holds onto Rumi's shoulder as she shakes with her laughter. Mira has her forehead pressed against Rumi's arm as she chuckles away. And Rumi pleads, I'm not in love with you. I don't love you. I don't love either of you. I can't love you. I can't be in love with you. What is this, Romeo and Juliet? Why are you making this hard for yourself? She's so funny. Like, girl, it's fine. It's literally fine. Zoe flags down the waiter to ask for more cuts of meat. Rumi doesn't even have to ask her for her requests because Zoe orders everything that she already thought of like she had read her mind. She even smiles at Rumi at the end of the order with that goofy, beamy smile, like she's so proud of it. Mira just keeps tending to the grill. She lowers the heat herself, but she continues to place their meats and mushrooms on it with expert ease. The concentrated look on her face pulls a wrinkle in the middle of her forehead and a frown on her lips. Rumi could trace that look on her face in her sleep. She could trace it in the sand on every beach they've been to around the globe. Just as much as she could trace it in bed on Zoe's freckled back when they lay together. What are you saying? What are you like, oh my god. We get it. You're in love. We fucking get it. I don't. She thinks at the end. I can't be because I don't because I can't be. Rumi puts down. Can you hear me rolling my eyes? Am I doing it hard enough? Am I doing it? Rumi puts down her chopsticks. She doesn't feel like eating anymore. And because Zoe and Mira know her, because they know her so frustratingly well, they seem to zero in on her behavior in less than 2 seconds flat. Their conversation slows down when Rumi stops chewing, and they look at her with so much concern that it just makes her appetite go down even more. You okay? Mira murmurs to her. She puts down her chopsticks as soon as she finishes flipping a piece of Zoe's beef. Yeah, Rumi says, half enthused. She almost wants to slap herself. The last thing she wanted was to bring the mood down with them. They don't ever deserve that. Yeah, I'm fine. Are you sure? Zoe asks, the worry still etched on her curled lips. Did you eat something bad? Does your stomach hurt? Are you full? Rumi is grateful for the breadth of excuses that she could pick from. She picks the latter and replies, yeah, I think I ate way too fast. Think I just need some time to digest. A piece of hangjeongsal from Mira's chopsticks freezes in the air. Mira gives it to Zoe instead, and she smiles at Rumi apologetically. It makes Rumi genuinely giggle. Sorry, Mira says, an abashed smile on her lips. My fault, probably. I wasn't keeping track of how much food I already gave you. Yeah, because every time you saw one of us with a half empty plate, you loaded back up. Zoe scolds, and Mira just smiles at her, chagrined. You're worse than my dad. So sorry that I just want to make sure you are well fed, Mira says, rolling her eyes. Should I keep the bulgogi to myself next time? No, Zoe says haughtily. Haughtily. Is close to a smirk. She even shares a look with Rumi and raises her eyebrows, and Rumi smiles some more. It makes her feel instantly better, even if her appetite still feels like it's been washed away. Her stomach feels like it's cramping too. Not in the way it would whenever she got food poisoning or the time of the month was calling, but it's a specific kind of cramping, one that twists her insides and drags it down with an ache. It makes her chest cramp too, a dull, twisting ache. She's only ever felt the whisper of this kind of ache whenever she stared too hard at them or thought too hard. She wonders what it's for. But Rumi doesn't want them to worry about her. Not when she's already having so much fun today. Not when they finally look happy to be out with her. I'll be fine in a couple minutes, Rumi says, waving them off. You know how my metabolism is. I'll be done digesting before Zoe finds a new fanfic of us to read out loud. Fanfic time in the K barbecue. First of all, can't believe you're bragging about your metabolism again, Zoe says, insulted. She's already pulling out her phone. Second of all, nuh-uh, I can definitely find one before you eat. Be my guest, Rumi drawls. A light smile is already beginning to plaster itself across her face. She feels Mira knock her knee against hers in mild protest. Rumi just puts her head on her shoulder and snickers. Her phone buzzes in her pocket. She pulls it out late. She pulls it out to check the top notification to see if it's something from Bobby for her to attend to now or something from her socials to look at later. But it's neither of those things. It's a text from Seline. Dun dun dun. Let's go. Nothing lengthy or not even something that she has to reply to. It's just one sentence, a reminder she doesn't need a reminder that she doesn't need after all the times she stared at the ceiling, just remembering. I'll make your favorite tomorrow, it reads. Feel free to bring any drinks, says the text underneath. They both know she won't. Rumi isn't a drinker, especially not around Celine. It makes her and it would make Seline too vulnerable. Never in her 24 years of being on this earth has she ever remembered even picking up a bottle of soju around Seline. Somehow being around her means being in her right mind always. I'm really gonna like the Seline bits in here. I have a feeling. I'm really okay. She swallows the bile that rises in her throat. If she hadn't felt like eating lately, she doesn't like eating now. She turns off her phone the moment Zoe makes a pass at Mira about her tendency to have bathroom breaks during the worst time on past tours. It makes Mira's entire face contort in betrayal, and all three of them are laughing before they know it. Celine is pressed to the back of her mind again. She's always been good at that, compartmentalizing and all. Besides, she doesn't want to think about anything else while she's here, laughing along with the only girls she could ever let herself laugh so freely with. To pass the time, Rumi picks up her chopsticks to grab some food from the grill. Not for her, but to feed Mira and Zoe interchangeably. They don't protest, even though Mira gives a mild glare the first time she does it. Rumi makes sure to hold her hand underneath the meat to catch any falling pieces. She even dips the meat in sauce for Mira and doubles it up with garlic for Zoe, just in the way she knows her girls like it. Zoe chews happily while she thumbs through her screen. With her mouth half full, she complains, I've read all of these already. Why aren't our fans updating? Maybe because it's a Tuesday afternoon, Rumi suggests. And most of our fans have jobs, Mira points out. Well, they shouldn't, Zoe says simply. Her fingernails clack on her screen while she types in God knows what into the search engine of her fanfiction website. I'm still waiting for some updates for a few fics. Mira rolls her eyes, but it's fond. It's never not been fond. Zoe has the opposite problem to me in that like all the fics I follow update at the same time, and I can never catch up with them. I'm still getting like fic recommendations, and I'm like, those fics aren't getting read. They just aren't. I have too much on my plate. Sorry for making money, Zoe. Geez. No, literally. Mira rolls her eyes. Yep. Rumi picks up some more bulgogi from the grill, blows on it to cool it down, then presents it to Mira. Mira wrinkles her nose and turns her head away like a little kid, and it makes her laugh despite herself. Full? Rumi guesses with a smile. Mira chews something in her mouth, swallows, then complains. No, I was just chewing up the piece you gave me 5 seconds ago. Let me breathe, Rumi. That makes her laugh again. It tightens her chest this time, but she can't understand why. Sorry, she says lightly, but Mira just gives her a look that tells her that she never even needed to apologize. She turns to Zoe with the meat instead. Zoe takes her food happily. She doesn't look up from her phone, but she leans over to gulp at the meat, and Rumi keeps a hand underneath her chin. It makes Zoe's cheeks puff up, and Rumi has to press her lips tightly together to keep from giggling or pressing a kiss to Zoe's squirrely cheeks. Find anything? Rumi asks. She presses her cheek against Zoe's shoulder to look at her screen with her. So far, no dice, Zoe complains. Zoe's scrolling through the fix too fast for her to take it all in. She also notes how a lot of the titles are grayed out, which, unless she was misremembering Zoe's rants about it the other day, means that Zoe had clicked on those already. There's a lot of ex-reader works too, a lot of which seem to be with her and Mira with the reader rather than just one. You really like to read, huh? Rumi asks mildly. Zoe pauses. You could say that. When all the Two's company readers realize that that's like a 900-page fic. And they're like, oh my god, I've read that much. We are such readers, guys. We're so literate? Question mark? I don't know. Oh my god. Rumi wonders what that means. Before she could ask about it, Mira asks, how are you doing with that appetite, Rumi? She feels a little bit better than she was before, but she can still feel the nip of nauseousness in the corners of her mind. It might be from the text from Seline, but it might be from all the thinking, or both. She can't tell. So Rumi answers honestly, I might need a couple more minutes. Zoe presses her knee against hers a couple times in reassurance. Hey, we can spend all day here if you want to, she says nonchalantly, looking up from her phone. She gives Rumi a little smile. Besides, you're probably still fighting off your cold. Take as much time as you need, Bubby. Mira nods along in agreement as she turns some meat. Yeah, it's not like we have to do anything after this. Rumi's face twists. She relaxes her facial features a second later, but Mira and Zoe catch her. What was that? Mira asks suspiciously. What was what? Rumi asks, all too quickly. The face you made, Mira says again. She puts down her tongs and scissors to squint at her. What did you do? I didn't do anything, Rumi argues weakly. Rumi, Zoe whines, turning off her phone and slamming it face down on the table. You promised, and I'm keeping it, Rumi says, but she's avoiding their eyes and sinking into the seat in the shame of getting caught. With just a small setback, that's all. You promised we'd take the day off today, Mira says, baffled. And we are, Rumi insists. Our entire day is off. As soon as the sun goes down, we go back to work. Simple as that. Rumi, Mira and Zoe complain. But they don't look as seriously offended by it as Rumi feared they would. If anything, they just look mildly amused. And when they glance at each other over Rumi's sinking body on the booth seat, it's like they already knew that she would pull something like this. What do we even have to do tonight? Zoe asks, a little whiny, but with a smile still on her face. Rumi wonders briefly if Zoe has ever not smiled when they were around her. Rumi shrugs and answers, not a lot. I made sure. I just asked if we could do a quick run through of the set at the venue. They groan. Zoe even stretches out over the table, side of her face against it in protest. Rumi tries to remedy it. I also asked Bobby to swing by after we finish with a USB stick for all the music videos they're releasing this week, so we can watch it together on the couch when we get home. That cheers them right up. Zoe perks up again, and she gives Rumi a quick side hug. With a happier smile on her face, Mira starts the grill with more gusto. She even warns Rumi to finish up with digesting so that she can spoil her with more of the marbled cuts. Gonna take a little break. Because I've been reading. I also need to plug my phone. She's lucky they love her. I'd be like real. Okay. Also, guys, see the playbills behind me? That's my like mini playbill wall. I have more outside my room. Couch, couch, couch. Just plugging my phone. Plugging my phone. Oh my god. I just swiped and oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my god. Where are you? Here you go. Okay. You doing already okay? Had water? I have water. I have water, Ed. Rumi is so scared to love her girls because she doesn't love herself. Don't say that, Nat. I'll cry. I'll cry so much. Hopefully the phone doesn't die like that one time. I was having flashbacks to that. But it should be fine. I just need to put it in a way that it can charge at the same time, which is a bit harder here. I can put it on my tripod again, on my little ring light. If it dies, we'll blame we'll blame Reef, even though it's not her fault. Okay, I'm gonna put it over here actually. So it's going to be, hi Ebony, thank you. I hate having it at a higher angle, but what can I do? What can I do? Like you can see my clothes and all that. I was talking about these before I started reading. I got these from the Korean festival at Union Square a few years ago, and it's my name in Hangul, which is really cute. She knows it's with love, I promise. Clothes, right. It is my clothes. Hi, Haley. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my god. Okay. Where did we leave off? Wait. Okay, going back to muted. Anyone need the Discord link before I go? Everyone, I'm just gonna check something real quick and then I'll be back to reading, y'all. Okay. You're missing the joke, Artie. Oh yeah, that's right. Wait, I am missing the joke. What is the joke? What is the joke? Clothes, right? What's the joke there? What is the joke? I'm so guys, I don't get the joke. What is the joke? Okay. They're dancing to Golden on Dancing with the Stars right now? Oh my god, thank god. I'll check that out later. I just got back. What is the joke? Oh, I got the joke. I just got the joke. Okay, you don't have to. Eyes here. Eyes here. I just got the joke. Guys, I am slow. I am slow, y'all. I cannot with y'all. Okay, let's go back. Also, I feel like I'm going very fast with this. It's just because like I can't stop reading. It's really fun. I really like this. Okay. They ordered 2 more rounds of food and then dessert afterwards, of course, before tapping out. All 3 of them had to undo their belts to make room for their food babies. Zoe named hers Peter. Have you gone to K barbecue if you don't have to unbuckle your belt? It doesn't count if you don't do it. Like Parker, Spider-Man, Peter? Rumi guesses. Zoe nods sagely. With great food comes great responsibility. Their dessert is relatively modest. Just some scoops of ice cream and milk pudding. Oh, yum. Which Rumi feeds to Mira because she looked way too out of it to lean over and grab her cup. Zoe wipes the ice cream off of Rumi's face with her thumb and a giggle on her lips. Rumi thanks her by kissing the pad of her thumb, and Zoe snatches it away with a squeak. Static! Zoe excuses quickly. I'm sure, Zoe. Rumi raises her eyebrows, but she doesn't argue against her. She would have felt the electricity too, no? They clean out their ice cream. Now Rumi's not getting the joke. I'm just like Rumi in that sense. They clean out their ice cream bowls within 5 minutes. They're so lethargic afterwards that Rumi is tempted to ask the staff if they could just nap for an hour or two. She's already comfy where she is, with Zoe's cheek and drool against her shoulder and Mira's head knocked against hers. But she waves over the waiter and calls for the bill anyway. They still have a schedule ahead of them, and she doesn't want to be late for it. Rumi brandishes her black card when the waiter comes back with the bill. So do Zoe and Mira. They give each other one look, and Rumi can't help but sigh. Every time, she says, exasperated. Why don't you guys ever just let me pay? Zoe sticks her tongue out, and Mira just gives Rumi a mild, reprimanding look. With the waiter standing there patiently, they do what they always do every single time, without fail, when it's time to pay the bill. They give Rumi their cards, let her shuffle it up, and present the flared out cards to the waiter. She has her thumbs over the names. Their cards are matching, so it's hard to tell whose is whose without a name. That's so cute. Pick one, please, Rumi says, slightly tired. The waiter looks visibly surprised. Oh, I thought you guys were just gonna play rock, paper, scissors. That's what I thought. Um, Mira shrugs. We used to. But then the accident happened, Zoe says seriously and soberly. The waiter looks through me to explain. You don't want to know, she warns. So the waiter shrugs and lets his hand hover over the bills. With bated breaths, they lean in to watch him pick, and Rumi abhors the way that he just hesitates over the cards like he's enjoying how it brings them to the edge of their seats. He picks the one to the left. He takes it out of the pile and gives it back to Rumi, and Rumi flips it over so that they can check the name. Zoe stands up on the seat and cheers. She screams, "Let's go!" It's like hearing her scream from across the penthouse while she streams all over again. This is like probably what my roommates are feeling right now. Rumi and Mira groan, but they pocket their cards and let Zoe have her victory. She'll have her revenge someday. Maybe she'll take them to the fancy bar down the street before the tour begins, or after she meets with Seline. She'd definitely need a drink or two after that. Zoe pays for their meals. Rumi thanks her by tapping their knees together over and over, while Mira shows her gratitude by tickling the back of Zoe's neck while she puts in her PIN number. They leave the restaurant, bellies full and with lots of laughter still on their lips. Rumi swears that she hears the waiter call out to them, have a nice rest of your date, ladies," but she chalks it off to mishearing it as day. Clearly, it's such a repeated trope, but it gets me every time. Zoe is already skipping as they make their way back to the car, but Rumi and Mira drag their feet right behind her. How she could still have so much energy after eating what feels like 20 pounds of meat, Rumi will never know. Not sure how you're gonna be driving in that state, Rumi tells Mira half seriously. Your beer belly might get in the way of the wheel. Mira snorts. She hits Rumi with her hip, and Rumi almost stumbles forward. They slot themselves into Mira's car. Despite Rumi's concerns, Mira's stomach does not get in the way of the wheel, and she makes sure to point it out to her and Zoe too. Zoe reaches over to pat her bulging stomach. Mira waves her away, red in the face. With it only being 3 in the afternoon, they make their way back home to chill out before they have to rehearse. It's funny how it only takes them a couple steps inside the house for them to feel the lull of sleep, and how all 3 of them don't need to say anything to each other before they're all shuffling towards the couch. They collapse on it, huddled and tangled in random limps with hands on her face and her hands on someone's warm stomach. At least Zoe remembers to set an alarm to wake up before 5. It would have been dangerous if she hadn't. Rumi thanks her with a peck on the forehead before they all fall asleep. She doesn't dream much. If she does, it's not memorable. When Zoe's alarm goes off an hour and a half later, with her bubbly pop song screaming in the room, no one is happy about it. Even Zoe looks like she wants to murder someone for once, and she practically slams her fist on the phone to get it to stop. For another 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all Rumi can allow them, unfortunately, because she shakes them both awake after the snooze alarm goes off. She would feel guilty about it if it wasn't for the fact that Zoe looked adorable with her cow-licked hair after her nap, and how cute Mira looked with her squinty, sleepy eyes and the whiny pout on her lips. Still, they obey her when orders o- they obey her when she orders them to get up, and Zoe and Mira shuffle into the bathroom to wash the sleep off their faces. Zoe practically drowns herself in the bathtub to wake up. So all Rumi and Mira do is share a mildly. Mira drives them to the venue. They greet the city, walking over to the nearest speaker to connect her phone to it. Rumi's not even sure why she booked the rehearsal in the first place. They're perfect and completely in sync. They flow together so nicely that it reminds her of the way that waves fall against each other. And she can't help but notice how gracefully beautiful Mira looks when she dances, how she sings even without a microphone, projecting her voice with that elegant, commanding undertone. Just walking down the empty stage, still void of an audience besides themselves, commands her respect. Or how Zoe seems to never lose her enthusiasm, how she never loses her spark and seems to channel the lightning in her veins with every kick and extension of her arms. She will never tire of seeing that glint in Zoe's eyes, like she would burn down the stadium with one flick of her wrist if she had to. I really can't be judging them. More lore drop? Who wants more lore drop? I really cannot be judging them. Um, like I'm gonna be quiet because the friend that I'm talking about is right there. But I thought of an idea. I have to get back to it. But I thought of an idea of writing 365 I love yous and like putting them in like a jar so that like they could like take it out and like read it. Like it's like just 365 reasons why I love them. And I'm like, I was planning on making that for their birthday, though I don't know if I'll like, I don't know if they'll be ready. Friend, yeah, cool, cool. Okay. Artie Sip, guys. I've also like written poetry for given like poetry to my friends for their birthday. I had a period in my life pentameter, so I would write give it to my friends for their birthday. Um, so I really can't be judging because I do this for my friends. Lover girl, I am lover girl. Thank you, thank you. I got two lover girl comments back to back. Jokes aside, that's honestly so cute and sweet. Thank you. I love my friends. You better never judge Ruby ever. Is this Yuri? If you're not in a relationship with your BFFs, are you even BFFs? That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you so much. Um, now I want to know how to become Artie's friend. All right, you a poem. When's your birthday? Just tell me your birthday. I haven't done it in a while though. I'll say I used to like really be into that. I get accused of being in a throuple all the time. To be fair. Oh my god! Everyone giving me their birthdays, guys. End of November. Oh my god, that's soon. If I'm not hopelessly in love with my friends, I don't want it. Period. Period. Oh, 3rd of November. I see. I see. 3rd of November. Don't mind me. Don't mind. Don't mind me right now. Actually, I can't judge. I've written poems for friends before too. No, exactly. Exactly. So when you get married, you just want a tax break as friends. The thing is, I would be so up to do that. Here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. I've had a couple of friends like jokingly offer to marry me for like green card purposes before, but I've always been like, that's just so much responsibility on the other person. I don't want to do that for you. But I have been like fake proposed to before because I am not a citizen of this country. So I had to get a visa. Fanfic plot. Oh yeah. Oh wait, what are you? When the polycule all moves in together, we can start an LLC for tax experiments. Yes, I love that so much. That's incredible, incredible, incredible idea. Let's get on that. Bet there was one bet. Everyone thought dating the male nursing student I always sat with. We were not dating. Hopeless romantics reply to this comment. Just remember that I have a band performance at a football game on October 3rd. Oh my god, October 3rd. How many of us are your friends now? Yeah, I am glad. I am happy. There was one bed, except there's 9 of us. We'll just get like an extra large bed. Like one of the. This is going to be a niche reference. There is a huge bed that they jump on in the Dream Academy art film. Like it's like they start like jumping on this huge bed, like all 20 of the girls. Let's get a bed like that. California king size bed for real. And there was only one bed. It would be fun. Hi, Polytrix. Oh my god, I keep forgetting your like actual name. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'll just watch from across the water because I'm not moving to the US. I drown in debt. That's so sad. All fun until everyone's sinking their periods. That's really good. That's really, really good. Oh my god. Yeah, I'll check later. Okay, guys, let's keep going. We're almost halfway through. Let's keep going. Oh my god. Okay. Sweating and panting. Sweating and panting. Mira and Zoe turn to look at her after their last song finishes. They look smug. Rumi's eyes flick upward in a silent roll, but there's a faint smile on her lips as she chides. All right, I get it. They rest against the speakers on the floor. Zoe is laying down with her head on Mira's lap and her feet elevated on Rumi's, and all 3 of them are consumed by the random things on their phones. Zoe shows off her phone once in a while to show her some news on her timeline or a line from a fic to rile Mira up. Enough with the princesses, God! And Mira likes to snort. And Mira likes to snort and show her some funny videos found of hers. There isn't anything interesting enough on Rumi's phone that rivals either Zoe or Mira, so she keeps her mouth shut. Hey girls, Bobby calls. They greet. They sit up to wave at him, and he clambers up on the stage with a small huff. There's a gift basket in his arms, and Rumi already has half a protest on her lips when he says, "Don't mind the basket. It's a gift from the team to congratulate you on another world tour. I think Grace from the pyrotechnics department made some of her yakwa." The pyrotechnics, I love Grace from the pyrotechnics department. He exclaims. She's already rushing towards the basket that Bobby set down on a nearby plinth. I don't know what that word means. Plinth? Plinth? Okay. Um I said thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been dying to have them again. Bobby laughs merrily and then looks at Mira as he says, "And I remember you said you want to try scorpion lollipops. I didn't know if you meant lollipops in the shape of scorpions or actual scorpions in lollipops, so I brought both." Mira grins. Sick. Albeit at a more leisurely pace than Zoe, Mira makes her way onto her feet to dig through the basket too. That leaves Rumi behind on the floor. She wobbles up on it, and Bobby down his suit sleeves and adjusts his cufflinks, all while he asks, "How's the rehearsals? Anything you girls need to ask for? Carbs, water, more snacks, water?" "We're fine, Bobby, thanks," Rumi says, not unkindly. She leans against one of the bigger word is. I'm gonna look it up because I'm too curious. I can't hear it. Plinths. Kite plinths. Oh, I see. You learn a new word every day. You like truly do, especially reading fanfic. Plinths. She leans against one of the bigger plinths on stage and crosses her arms. The night is getting colder. "How's everything else, backstage wise?" "Oh, you don't ever need to worry about that," Bobby exclaims, half offended that she even had to ask. "It's my job to worry about all the physical stuff. You girls just need to worry about staying healthy and happy for yourselves and your fans." Rumi laughs at that. "And we are, thanks to you." "Ah, don't give me too much credit," Bobby says, waving her away. "If you let it get to my head, I might start asking for a raise." "Give Bobby a raise already. Oh my god." Chuckling, Rumi answers, "And we'd probably end up giving it to you, honestly." What did I just say about letting things get to my big head?" Bobby scolds mildly. He shakes his head as she laughs, then adds, "Anyway, I'll get out of your guys' hair in a bit. I just wanted to check if everything was okay. Or if anything else you dislike about the venue. I always actually," Rumi interrupts, giving him a sheepish smile. "Do you think you could pull some strings and get some more warm towels in our room before the concert?" Mira hates when her face gets too sweaty before a performance. Will do," Bobby says happily, nodding along. He has his phone pulled out to make quick notes. "Anything else?" Salty crackers and chips in our room too," Rumi says. She can hear Mira and Zoe exclaiming at the flowers in the basket together right over Bobby's head. "And some antacid. Zoe likes the chewable Tums ones if you can find it." "Ah, right, right. Almost forgot that Zoe gets her excited tummy aches," Bobby replies seriously. He nods as he types. He looks up at her, then, "Do you remember which? The strawberry ones," Rumi tells him. "She likes lemon too, if you can't find any strawberry ones. I just make sure that it's chewable. She says it's less chalky or something, and I don't think Mira cares about the flavor." Bobby bobs his head. It makes Rumi's lips curl into a smile. "Is that everything?" Bobby asks, thumbs floating over his screen. Rumi nods, but then Bobby offers, "How about throat lozenges, just in case your voice isn't all the way there yet?" "Oh, right." Rumi's eyebrows shoot up in surprise. She almost forgot about that. Bobby shakes his head and laughs, but it's done so with a kind of fondness. He types a few more quick words in his notes, then pockets his phone. He says, "Always typical of you to remember about Mira and Zoe first, Rumi." Rumi shrugs. "I have to set a good example as their leader," she says, the words practiced. Oh, uh, oh my god, I lost. Okay, Bobby looks at her again, a strange look on his face, like he's scrutinizing something on her nose. She shifts her weight from foot to foot and looks away. She's not sure what he's looking for. "Don't get me wrong, I think you're a great leader, Rumi," Bobby says. He gives her a gentle smile, then puts a hand on her shoulder. "But sometimes I think you need to let your heart take the lead too." Rumi tilts her head at him and frowns. Why would I need to? Zoe's loud laughter stops Rumi from asking. They look over to where Zoe and Mira are, the gift basket between them and their spoils laid out in their arms or on the plinth. Mira's holding up a mini plushie of herself with an aggressive smolder on its face, and Zoe can't stop laughing and hitting Mira's arm whenever she tries to copy the expression. Rumi can't help but want to tack Mira's goofy smile against her eyelids. She wants to record Zoe's unrestrained laughter and tuck it away in her ears to fall asleep to. You're smiling, Bobby teases. Rumi immediately tries to wipe the grin off her face. It just off. She's not even sure why she of everyone else on this planet. Bobby's probably the only one who understands how much she cares about her girls and to what extent she would go for them. Do you Rumi to clear her head? It's almost impossible when she can't stop staring at Mira's smile and wanting to listen to Zoe's giggles. She has to practically tear her eyes away from them. Do you need anything else from me, Bobby? Bobby shrugs. Just for you to know that there's nothing on this earth. Nothing, he emphasizes, moving around his hands, that you can say or do to them that will push them away. I mean it. Rumi raises her eyebrows slowly. Okay. Why is everyone being so weird to her lately? Rumi, my girl, my his phone. It's just the slow burn of it. Like I get it, I get it. But I want girl, please. Oh, his phone begins to ring in his pocket, and he makes a little oop noise before pulling it out to check. His face scrunches up, and Rumi gives him a quick wave of the hand to let him know that he can slip away. Before he leaves, he leans in against her face to quickly say, by the way, Zoe really likes sweet peas and carnations, and Mira secretly likes white chocolate, but you probably already knew that. But let me know if you need anything else or need to talk it out. I'm rooting for you. Okay, bye. Well, okay. There was that. Bobby clocking it before her is so funny. I mean, to be expected. Rumi shrugs it off as best as she can. She makes her way back to Mira and Zoe, who are more than happy to show her the half eaten snacks and goodies from their gift basket. Zoe has her cheeks full of chips, and Mira tells her that she should try the scorpion lollipop with her, which Rumi is quick to politely decline. Quick to politely deny. Oh my god. The drive back home is calm. They're pooped out from eating a hefty lunch and dancing around for an hour. So Zoe makes sure to put on a more pacifying playlist when she rides shotgun with Mira. Rumi presses the side of her the window and closes her eyes while they ride back. It's not until Mira is parking that she realizes that Zoe's playlist has been all love ballads, which could mean nothing. Which could mean nothing. Love ballads are, after all, very soothing to listen to after a long day, and it could mean nothing more. She's not sure how Zoe has the energy to stream after their whole day, but she does. She assures them that she'll only stream for an hour and that she'd be joining them in bed before they go to sleep. Wash your face with us. Wash your face with us first, at least, Rumi orders. Zoe whines about it, but she obliges. Mira calls her bossy for it, but it's better than calling her clingy for wanting all three of them to get ready for bed. All three of them squish into her bathroom together to do some skincare. They bicker over which products to swipe from each other, and at some point, Zoe turns on the tap to splash water on their faces. They squeal and yell, and for the 1 millionth time in her life, Rumi is very happy that they don't have neighbors who can complain about them up where they are. Zoe locks herself in her streaming room after they brush their teeth, and Rumi and Mira settle back into bed. All they need is one look at each other to read each other's minds, and they're screaming turn on Rumi's TV found near the foot of her bed to watch Zoe's stream. They watch while they scroll on their phones for their nightly news. Zoe is playing the same game she swore to them up and down that she deleted because it was better for her mental health. It's not surprising, but it still makes Mira chuckle. Rumi can feel the reverberation of her laughter against her ear from how tangled up they are together. Rumi still doesn't understand how the game works. Mira explains to her all she has to know is that Zoe has to kill the other team or defuse a bomb. So Rumi tries her hardest to cheer for Zoe even if she can't hear from her room. He's dinked! Zoe screams into her mic. She's practically jumping in her seat. He's dinked! He's dinked! Get his ass! Get his ass! Get his. Oh my god, this team, bro! Mira and Rumi can't help but laugh at her. Rumi's almost half tempted to text her to stop yelling, just so she could reserve her voice for their concert, but it seems like Zoe's chat already has her covered. Zoe squints at the chat. Don't you have a tour to prep for? Well, yes. Her game counts her down. She squares up her shoulders again and chirps. But Rumi's so good at bossing us around that we got everything down, so no need to worry, chat. Mira laughs at that. Rumi laughs with her until her eyes fall on the side of the screen with Zoe's chat, and she exclaims to Mira, "Hey, tell Zoe to ban them. That's inappropriate speech or something." As promised, Zoe only plays 2 quick matches. She loses the first one, declares something like, "We can't stop on a loss, chat," and seems to be even more focused on playing her second game. The second game is neck to neck with the score. Mira murmurs against her hair that Zoe is only 1 round away from winning, and Rumi puts down her phone to make sure that Zoe has her rapt attention. She can feel Mira petting her hair gently at first, until she's practically stress petting Rumi. Rumi doesn't bat her away for it, because she considers her tight grip on Mira's pajama shirt an equal exchange. Zoe squeaks when the game declares last player standing. Where was my team, bro? Zoe groans. She pulls out her knife and tries to make her way to the other side of the game map. Rumi adjusts her weight on top of Mira to get more comfortable. She's staring at her TV hard and that she's and she's staring at her TV so hard that she swears she can burn a hole through it. She feels Mira wriggle on the bed to take out her phone. She's typing something, and fast. Rumi looks up at her with a frown. You don't want to watch Zoe? She asks, a little miffed on Zoe's behalf. Of course I do. Mira. She's still typing. Just give me a second. Rumi lets it go, just once. The next time Mira looks away while Zoe is playing, she's going to throw her phone across the room. Chad, I don't think I can do this. Zoe squeaks, her voice tight and quavering. I think I need to take a stretch shit after this. Huntrix really would be like Cat's Eye in that like they have absolutely no filter. Incredible, incredible. She's actively sweating on camera, and the lighting in her room isn't helping. She looks shiny with anxiety. Rumi can even tell she's bouncing her knee from the little tremors quaking her body in the corner camera. Then Rumi spots the chat. Mira1410. We'll let you be the little spoon tonight if you clutch. Right hand girl, LOL. Sabrina Carpenter. Bruh, is that perky underscore lover? The little the I don't, is that the laughing thing? Hey, I think so. I don't remember. Pop my soda pop. There's no way we have Polytrix our peers in the chat at this hour. Zoe's toilet seat 6969. Where is the Zoe Stream Struggles account element? Of course, there would be a Zoe Stream Struggles account. Polytrixer Truther. Give it up for day zero. Day zero of the Huntrix girls beating the allegations. Rumi looks at Mira. Mira's too busy laughing with tears in her eyes to catch her eyes. There's no way you just did that, she declares. but she knows deep in her soul that Mira would in fact do that. Zoe glances at her chat, then looks back at her game, then does a double take and looks back at her chat. Her eyes widen as she leans in closer in to her monitor. She seems to read it a couple times over. Then Zoe loudly says, "Okay, watch this insane clip, chat." Zoe does a quick left turn and pulls out her weapon, which Mira is quick to tell her is just a really weak pistol against the enemy's beefier guns. It has Rumi gnawing on her thumbnail. Sneaking around and not speaking a single word into her mic, Zoe spots an enemy holding an angle. They haven't seen her yet. Ugh. Okay, keep avoiding it, Zoe. Keep avoiding it. I'm sure it'll turn out great for you. Zoe hits them twice in the head, and the game rewards her with a satisfying kill sound. Zoe still doesn't make a noise. Neither does Rumi or Mira. She picks up the fallen enemy's gun and sneaks around another bend. The enemy spots her first before she does, but Zoe flicks to their head to kill them. Her health bar is down to half. "I can't watch," Rumi moans, hiding her face in her hands. Mira peels her hands back from her face and remarks, "Hey, if I have to watch, so do you. Have some faith." With two more enemies left, Zoe quietly sneaks around with her gun, checking every angle. Not even the game gives her any useful audio or feedback until there's the sound of a bomb planting in the distance, and Zoe quickly runs to where it's coming from. She doesn't even bother to check the chat, but it would be futile to check the chat anyway. It's slowed down by a considerable amount, and Rumi can guess that everyone else is holding their breaths too. An enemy runs out from one of the corners. They both seem surprised to see each other, and Zoe cries out and jumps in her seat. So does Rumi. But she's quicker than the other guy, and she guns him down. Zoe's victory doesn't last very long when the last player finds her first. The bottom half of the screen turns red. Zoe is hit from the back a couple times, and she has to scream and turn around to face them. She spam clicks her mouse blindly. Rumi and Mira sit up in bed to watch, inhaling sharply. Then the game slows down, the screen turns black, and on the screen is victory for all to see. I love that they're so invested in their girlfriend's little stream. Mwah, so cute. Both Rumi and Mira shout out in delight, but it's nothing compared to Zoe, who rips her headphones off and jumps up with complete joy. Her chat is going crazy on the side. It's starting to make her TV stutter. Rumi starts to ask why so many of them are asking Zoe not to go bald, but Zoe jumps up on screen. Thank God we have "Don't Go Bald" in this in this one as well. Oh, I just thought about the little radio thing, the little radio show, I guess, radio appearance that like EJ Audrey Nuna and Ray Ami did, where where Ray was explaining the concept of "Don't Go Bald" to EJ. It was, oh my god. They're them. They're literally them, and they're so precious. Thank you, Polytrix. Wah. Gotta make sure Zoe doesn't go bald in any any universe. Thanks, Stephanie. Oh god, this is a long chapter. I expect that from Jamie, but oh my god, I'm tired. It's just that Jamie has to explain every single thing that happens in the game, which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong. It's just hard to keep reading. I'm still congested. Oh my god. Everything is so hard forever. "Let's freaking go!" Zoe screams, sitting up on her chair to cheer even louder. Rumi and Mira can hear the scream coming from the other side of the penthouse. It makes them both laugh. Rumi has to press her face against Mira's chest to muffle it, but also maybe because she likes how Mira smells when she wears her pajamas. Not that she'd ever say that out loud. Zoe quickly says goodbye to her stream. She lets them know that her stream will slow down while she's on tour, but she'll be back before they know it. They tell her to take care, and Zoe blows a kiss to the camera. Rumi doesn't know why she looks away like Zoe had actually blown it to her. Then, just 3.5 seconds after Zoe's stream goes dark, Zoe kicks down Rumi's door. Rumi and Mira hardly flinch. They just roll away from each other to make room for Zoe in the middle. And they're laughing and laughing when Zoe jumps into the air and bounces all three of them on the mattress. Zoe snuggles up against them without a single care in the world. A promise is a promise, Zoe barks, snuggling closer against Rumi's chest. Pay up! Rumi wraps her arm around Zoe. The last of her giggles are still on her lips as she feels Zoe exhale against her chest, and she wonders if Zoe is enjoying how she smells in her pajamas the way she likes how it smells on them. She doesn't ask, in case she's the only weird one between the three of them. Mira presses closer against Zoe's back. Her arm is long enough to drape over Zoe's stomach, and her hand stays on Rumi's hip. Her eyes are already closed. Guys, Rumi says, and Mira and Zoe respond with quiet, muffled groans. The lights aren't turned off, Rumi continues, amused. Zoe answers against her chest. Well, I clutched up my entire game, so I don't think I should be the one to get up and do it. Mira is quick to say afterwards, and I'm the one who motivated you, so. Rumi sighs. She can feel both of them shaking with their giggles. After counting to 5 in her head, Rumi rolls over her shoulder to pick herself up from the bed. She puts on her fuzzy slippers and shuffles over to the corner of the room where her light switches. She flicks it closed, yawns, and puts her hands on on her lower back to stretch it out. Rubbing an eye, Rumi turns around and makes her way back to her warm, comfortable bed. Zoe and Mira are fast asleep already. She can tell from the way that their chests come up and down in slow heaves and how neither of them respond or twitch when she walks back to the bed. They don't even move when her weight dips the mattress as she lays back down. Rumi can't help it. She can't. She tucks Zoe's hair out of her face, then Mira's. She lets her knuckles brush over their warm faces, slowly and gently. There's no telling how long she stays there, propped on an elbow, watching them in the near darkness. Their faces are illuminated only by her window and the gracious lending of light from a nearby billboard. Her fingers caress Zoe's round cheek. She loves how Zoe's face always feels so soft in her hands, so bubbly even when she's asleep. Her fingers naturally find Mira's next, whose face is more angular, but it's softer, warmer. Rumi swallows. Oh, Rumi swallows. The ache in her chest almost keels her over. I don't love you, she wants to say to them. I love you, but I don't love you like that. I know I don't. She kisses Zoe's forehead and thinks, I don't. Then her lips press against Mira's temple, and she still thinks, I don't. I don't. And as she settles back against the bed, Zoe's arm finds her even in her deepest slumber, and Mira's hand slides over the hem of her shirt to rest there. I don't love you, she thinks, pleadingly, desperately, hopelessly. Either of you, I don't. But as sleep begins to take her hostage, Zoe and Mira's warm skin against her body to act as her only anchor over its grasp. The back of her mind whispers, the demon that she holds there, the part of her that she keeps locked tight. It whispers, You're just running again, Rumi. She wonders how much running she could do before she gives away to exhaustion. She wonders what will happen if she collapses near the finish line and what she might do afterwards. But Rumi can't think about that right now. She has other things to worry about. So she does what she always does best, and she locks it away. Was Jamie planning on making this the final chapter? Girl, come on. Come on. Dima Rumi would have both those girls in 45 positions. That's funny. That's funny. No, there's more. I know there's more. I stopped because there's a line break for the first time in this chapter. wait, wait, Rose, what did you say? Polly tricks with clap lights. Rose, I'll leave that to you to write, okay? Do whatever you want with that. That's really funny though. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that because that's the funniest thing I've read today. That's Rose, you're so funny. I'll do it. I'll write this as a note for later. Okay, guys. So what I'll do is, first of all, I need water, and need to use the bathroom, even though I did before this. So I'll go piss, girl. Um, and y'all hang out if you want, or leave if you want. I don't care. I just need to use the bathroom. And I have my violin over here. Okay. Um, I'll see y'all later. I just need to go piss, girl. Oh my god, hi. responded to my invites, by the way. Check your
Sorry,
what?
is maybe just because
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure. Is the date staying on?
The 18th. Yeah. What's up? Oh, well, yes.
Saitama was like, they had a whole conversation. The Majima said to Saitama, what the hell was it? Like, just look it up. Well, the combo was, Saitama was like, I know you got your memory back. Majima was like, yeah.
Okay.
The after brother, plus everyone God in this world besides you, which is a diabolical thing to say to Taiga Saitama. After Saitama saying things like, hey, you have people waiting for you back there. Yeah. That is a fucking diabolical thing to say to a man that you were stringing along. You know he's with you. Yeah.
I'll go back to my screen and think about that movie. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, evil. Okay. Wow. Thank you. I'll be thinking about that further. Thank you. Oh my god. Oh my god. So how much of that did you guys hear? Hi. Guys, don't tell. Well, don't say that. I'm back. All of it. No, seriously, did you hear all of that? Okay. Sorry, my friend started talking to me about Yakuza, and I was like, what? Why are the lights? Why are the lights? The room started stealing confusion. Gotta turn this one off. Rose, you're so funny. A diabolical thing to do. Bye, Danny. Oh my god, are you going? No, the thing is, my friend was talking about I don't know if anyone knows the Yakuza video game series, but my friend is playing Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which is like the latest game in the series, and about how Majima is evil. Because like he lost his memory while trying to find a cure for Kiryu. They're in love, by the way. They're deeply in love. Um there's so much yaoi in those video games. Like it's kind of crazy. But anyways, he was telling me about that. I evil for memory loss. That tracks. No, like he loses his memory while looking for a cure to Kiryu's disease, and the other guy who's also in love with him comes up to him being like, "Hey, there are people waiting for you," and he, oh god, I forgot the exact thing that he's. Anyways, whatever. No one cares. No one cares. Cure a disease. Rude lol. Okay, let's keep going, y'all. Getting Seline stuff in this chapter? Yes, we are. I saw. Yes, we are. Okay. Anything on YouTube? Is this a book? A bit. Yeah. Rumi is the first one up in the morning. She enjoys her secret morning ritual for 10 minutes. It's as much time as she allows herself for such a busy morning. With her phone notifications full of things in her inbox, reminders from Bobby, and a short reminder from Celine that there's construction on a specific road on the way to her apartment, Rumi has her hands full. She tiptoes around her room to make sure they don't wake up and grumpily throw a pillow at her, like they'd done a couple of times in the past when she wasn't careful, and she's off to the kitchen to make a quick coffee and some food for them to wake up to. It's chicken rice porridge this time. They always did like her duck juk during hard weeks of rehearsals like this. Now I want some juk. Oh my god. And if she's being honest, it's nice to have the morning to herself for a little while sometimes. The speaker in the corner of the kitchen hums to her a tune from the radio, one that she sings under her breath while she portions out the porridge into three bowls. The coffee makes coffee. She makes a mental note to wipe down everything in her life comes in threes. Lucky, wonderful threes. And Mira sleepily make their ways into the kitchen before the porridge and coffee gets too cold. Zoe thanks her with a warm hug and a platonic, very platonic peck to the cheek. Mira squeezes her forearm and gives her version of thanks with an exhausted smile. They eat together in threes. Rumi is wedged in the middle, as always, as is right, as the universe did. Zoe is playing videos out loud on her phone. She's scrolling so fast that Rumi can hear the start of one cheesy audio morph into another, then another. It would have been too much to ask to listen to at 6 in the morning, but Zoe does it so often that it's almost soothing to listen to now. Rumi presses her cheek against Zoe's shoulder to look at the videos together. There's nothing special that particularly catches their eyes, but it's better than staring at the coffee machine while they eat. They giggle at a few dog compilation videos that wind up on Zoe's screen. A few of the videos that Zoe scrolls past are ship videos. It's an amalgamation of all kinds of ships that Rumi has been plagued by the past couple months. Zoe and that one Magne from a group that debuted last month, Mira and the Victoria's Secret angels she was politely talking to during her last appearance, Rumi and the leader from a boy group that they were up against for an award last year, and then Zoe and Mira, Mira and Rumi, Rumi and Zoe. Then it's all mostly Zoe, Mira, and Rumi. Zoe gets seemingly flustered the more she scrolls. Each video she scrolls past is just another video of the three of them making goo goo eyes at each other in an edited fan clip. There's one video that she pauses at, an old video of the Sunlight Sisters. Let's go. Give me my Yuri. Give me my Sunlight Sisters, Yuri. It's a fan edited video with a cheesy love song in the background, and the fan cam zooms in on the young third member and Celine's faces as Rumi's mother, Mi Young, makes an acceptance speech. Celine is smiling. Rumi has never seen a smile like that on her face before. And then the cheesy love song in the background swells and it transitions to Rumi making an acceptance speech at the Idol Awards and Zoe and Mira smiling at her. The editing is clearly trying to make a parallel. I love me some. I'm gonna eat. I love me a parallel. Zoe tries to scroll away, but her phone is stuck looping the video. She taps her phone screen a million times over with a groan. Mira saves the day by saying, "What time do we have to get to the venue by?" Zoe quickly turns off her phone. Rumi leans away and coughs into her fists, then plays around with her porridge as she answers evenly. After 2 o'clock, I think? 2 in the afternoon? Zoe asks incredulously, tilting her head. Why so late? Mira appends. Rumi frowns at their puzzled looks. I don't think it's that late. It gives us like the entire afternoon to go through our set list. They're still giving her weird looks. Rumi slowly says, unless you guys feel like you need more time to rehearse. We have final rehearsals tomorrow, but if you think it's not that, Mira says matter of factly. She puts down her spoon to look at her, eyebrows quirked. Usually you have us out the door by 8 in the morning sharp to get to the studio. 1 minute late and you're barking at us to get going. I don't, Rumi weakly argues. Yeah, Zoe agrees, nodding her head. She shifts her body to look at them both, and her chair squeaks. You never let us put our guards down with a tour this close. What gives? Rumi looks down at her porch. She can practically see a frowny face in it staring back at her. She glares at it. Just, Rumi taps her spoon on the side of her bowl to feign nonchalance. She's not sure if it's working. She gulps down the bile that rises in her throat and she says, Celine and I are meeting up for lunch. She said it wouldn't take too long, but I did promise to be there by noon, so she doesn't mention that Celine had asked to meet for dinner instead, and how she was so quick to deny it, under the reasoning that she, Zoe, and Mira want to go out to eat for dinner. It's a lie. She just didn't want to see Celine and then come out to the cold, dark night. Lunch during the brightest hour of the day feels like a good compromise for this sort of thing. At least she could tell herself that whatever Celine had to say to her wasn't so bad, because the sun was shining just outside of her window. It feels as if the kitchen gets 10 degrees cold. Zoe and Mira put down their utensils to look at her. Rumi has to look down at her bowl and play with her food to keep from losing herself in the way that they just stare at her. Rumi quietly prepares for the anger, the disbelief, the surprise, and the bombardment of questions at her, like they can't believe that she would keep something like this from them again. She feels Zoe and Mira shift up their gazes to each other. They silently communicate with those looks, something that they've been doing more often, and Mira clears her throat. It's today? She asks levelly. Rumi can't detect any specific emotion from her. She must have been rehearsing that for a while. Yeah, Rumi answers, almost meek. She awkwardly shifts in her chair. You could have told us that you were meeting her today, Zoe says, just as even as Mira. Rumi closes her eyes. I know, she says quietly, her thumb rubbing the side of her spoon to self soothe. I know, I know. I should have said something. I just didn't want to worry you. Worry you, she thinks to herself. Make you to look at me like I'm going to shatter like glass? Make you to pity me? But then Mira says, yeah, an earlier warning would have been nice, Rumi. Would have given us more time to get dressed. Rumi jolts. She glances up from her bowl to stare at Mira, mouth half open in surprise. She doesn't even know what to say to that. Eventually, she settles on asking, get dressed? For what? Zoe presses her lips together and raises an eyebrow. To go with you? She answers carefully, now sounding unsure herself. To see Celine? Rumi looks back and forth between them, first at Zoe, then at Mira, then at Zoe, then Mira again. Neither of them look away from her. Neither of them look as if they want to throw up some confetti and laugh at her face and tell her that they were just pulling her leg. Celine asked to see me, Rumi says measuredly, glancing between them one last time. She never said anything about you two. About you two. Exactly. Mira nods her head at Rumi. Mira nods her head at that, like Rumi had answered her own question. She didn't say anything about us, and we're a package deal, so we're going with you. Duh. Where? Uh, but Rumi tries to clamor for an argument against that. She can't find any, so she asks, but why would you? Zoe snorts, like she can't believe Rumi had to ask. Why wouldn't we? She asks slightly. She reaches over to grab Rumi's hand on the counter, and she squeezes tight. It immediately puts Rumi at ease, and that hot guilt in her stomach begins to relax. Mira puts her hand on Rumi's knee, and she squeezes just as tightly as Zoe had done with the back of her hand. And it's a nice feeling to know that they were both right there for her, that they were tangible, that they were safe. Rumi breathes out gently through her nose. For the first time in 48 hours, she feels like she's not holding the weight of the world on her shoulders. Mira murmurs, if you don't want us to go, we won't. We just assume that you'd, I don't know, appreciate the support or something. Thanks, Rumi blinks. She can feel the aching, stabbing pain behind her eyelids that threatens to spill tears. She tries her best to hold them back before she's left there sobbing at the kitchen counter at 7 in the morning. Seriously, thank you, she croaks out instead. Zoe takes the back of her chair and tugs it closer to her. Mira helps by kicking the legs of Rumi's chair towards Zoe. With Rumi closer, Zoe wraps her arms around Rumi's shoulders to press her into a tight hug. Rumi melts into her chest and breathes her in. Zoe smells like her and Mira and herself in the morning. She can feel Mira rubbing her back as Zoe holds her quietly. It's a warm pressure and one that ultimately grounds her to where she is. The tears don't spill. They don't have to. She's not sure how long they comfort her, with the quiet hum of the radio and the birds singing on their patio. It's long enough that their porridge is cold, but neither Mira or Zoe say anything about it. They choose to spend the morning by lounging around on the couch. They won't have enough time to do this while they are on tour, so they decide to take as much advantage of it as they can. Zoe fixes them up with 3 cups of ice cream and joins them on the couch. Mira throws a blanket over their laps, and they're a tangle of aimless, warm limbs while they watch whatever comes up in their minds to watch. It's a couple of episodes of Puka first. Oh my god, that's a throwback. I used to watch Puka when I was like little. Oh my god. Then some of Rumi's old K drama works. She complains about it the entire time. An episode from Victorious with a song that Mira hums under her breath. Then Ben 10. Hell yeah, that's such a good selection. Um who was it that made the tweet of uh Rumira has to sing what was the name of the song? Oh my god. Take a hint from Victorious. Rumira has to sing Take a Hint from Victorious. Um I don't remember who made that tweet. I don't remember if it was Jamie actually. But I listened to Take a Hint so much after seeing that tweet. Like, yeah, we need that. Okay, because who doesn't like Ben 10 at 10 in the morning? I used to watch Ben 10 a lot when I was a kid too. Oh my god. I should rewatch Ben 10. Like I really should. Because I used to love it. Like I don't remember anything from it. I just remember like the concept. Already earlier we were dropping fake spoilers. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Because I was confused. Giggle shits in the background. Should I ask them to quiet down a little? But I'm also being loud, so I feel like it would be unfair. I don't know what they're watching, to be honest. Dude, I would laugh if your friends are in this chat and we just hear their chaotic laughter. No, it's funny. They are not in this chat. They're not. They're doing their own thing. Okay. Rumi's head ends up resting against Zoe's stomach somewhere around 11. Zoe is scratching her head, and Rumi has to bite down on the tip of her tongue to keep from purring. Okay. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Her legs are swung over Mira's lap, and Mira is massaging the sole of her aching feet while they watch the episode where the Omnitrix gets upgraded. Oh my god. She feels spoiled by them. She hopes that one day she could give it all back the way that they make her feel. Oh my god. In fact, she's so relaxed, so untroubled, that it's Zoe who has to nudge her and remind her that it's almost noon and that they need to get ready soon. It's Mira who taps her shins to ask her to pick up her feet so that they get dressed together. Nothing too fancy or casual, just some sweaters and pants that they haphazardly throw on. The implication isn't lost on her that their choice of informality means that whatever Seline wants from her isn't of too much importance to them. Naturally, Mira drives. She doesn't bother with teasing Rumi to drive this time around. Zoe even puts on all of her favorite songs on the way there. They joke and laugh and talk in the car. If Rumi closes her eyes, she can pretend that she doesn't see the way that Mira grips the wheel and frowns when she looks at the road. She can pretend that Zoe doesn't scroll half as fast on her phone or that her laughter isn't as loud as it usually is. Change lanes here, Rumi says. She points at a sign in the near distance. It should be the exit after one coming up ahead. Mira hums her acknowledgement. Neither she nor Zoe need to ask why she still knows that, why she still knows the way back to Celine's apartment, like she still lives there, like she still kicks her shoes off after school near the doorway, and Celine calls down for her to eat, or like she still kneels to brush off the grime from the bathroom tiles while Celine works on the sink next to her on Saturday nights. Mira parks in front of Celine's apartment. The slow roll of the car lurches along with her stomach. Zoe turns off the music. For a moment, they sit there in the car in silence, quietly preparing themselves for what's ahead. Mira's still looking down at the steering wheel while she silently reaches over to put her hand on Rumi's knee. Zoe curls her fingers over Rumi's shoulder. Rumi just gives them a small smile. It's weak, but it's sincere. She hopes that it conveys how sincerely happy she is that they chose to be there with her. Zoe carries the small basket of apples that they picked from the farmer's market 2 days ago. Mira brings a petite bottle of wine. Rumi had told them that there was no need to bring anything, but they insisted. Rumi leads them ahead. She still remembers every twist and turn of the apartment complex. She still remembers the smell of the clean carpet, the worn out buttons of the elevator, and the way Celine's number plate shines. It almost makes her smile. She bets all of her money that Celine still cleans the plate and the doorknob every morning. Rumi inhales deep. Her shoulders come up close to her face, and she knocks on the door. One loud tap, then two quick ones. She feels Zoe slide her hand into hers to give her a quick squeeze. Mira tenderly picks something out of her braid. It makes Rumi's shoulders drop. And just in time for Celine to open the door, all the way, like she's already wanting to invite them in. She doesn't even look surprised to see Zoe and Mira with her. She only looks between the three of them, then steps aside to let them in with a quick jerk of the chin and a tiny, polite smile. We brought you some things, Zoe greets, holding up the basket of fruits. Mira holds up the wine. Thank you, Celine says, polite and gracious. She takes them from their hands as they slide their shoes off. You know you didn't have to. We wanted to, Mira only replies. Celine directs them to her dining table. There's only two plates set up, but she's quick to tell them that she'll bring in some more after she puts their gifts in the other room. Mira and Zoe are even quicker to tell them that they can help, considering that they had been the ones to drop in without a notice. It's no trouble, Celine says with a shrug. And she says nothing more after that. And Rumi can't help but note how thinly she presses her lips together as she turns around. Celine has a nice variety of food waiting for them at the table. As promised, it's all of Rumi's favorites. Celine's famous kimchi, radishes, egg custard, at least two kinds of soups, short ribs, and pork belly. I know that Celine makes a mean kimchi. Like, man, I would like to try that. I miss kimchi. I need to get kimchi. I need to get some kimchi bad. It's too much to have for two people. Had she been expecting more, despite the two plates? Or had she just been wanting to make sure Rumi was well fed? Rumi wonders what she would have done with the leftovers if Zoe and Mira weren't there. Celine sits first and Rumi across Celine sits first and Rumi across from her. Zoe and Rumi I can't talk. Zoe and Mira fill the gaps in between. The table is quiet while they dig in. It's dabbled with casual conversation here and there, with Zoe asking her how long she fermented the kimchi, and Mira's mild comments about how nice her plates look. It gives Rumi enough time to look around Celine's apartment and for her to be mildly surprised that almost nothing has changed. Celine still has the same books on her shelves, The same TV from a decade ago still sits in the corner, but the couch seems new. There's a bunch of records along one wall, and there's framed awards of Celine's achievements as a Sunlight sister and an executive for Sunlight Entertainment. And just as when Rumi was a child, there are no pictures of Celine with the Sunlight sisters, not even her mother. There is, however, a framed picture of Rumi, Zoe, and Mira posing with her on the red carpet during their debut year. She knows it was their debut year just from the way that they're smiling, overwhelmed by all the sudden attention, but happy. Celine looks happy too. Did you put any soybean in this? Zoe asks, polite but genuine. She points at the stew in her bowl. It's delicious, Celine. Probably the best stew I've had in a while. I did, Celine answers, just as polite. I'm glad you like it. Makes me remember that you liked the last stew I made last Christmas. It was 2 Christmases ago, but it's neither here nor there. Rumi remembers it because Zoe had begged her to ask Celine to make some more the next day if she could. Can you pass the soybean sprouts? Mira asks courteously. I guess you can say either way, courteously. Rumi reaches for it, but Celine beats her to it, and Mira thanks her with a slight nod. Zoe asks her about where she buys the. Celine seems happy enough to reply, and Mira chimes in here and there with her own experiences with cooking with different brines. It's almost odd watching them talk to each other like that. Zoe and Mira have talked to Celine enough times in the past to grow a kind of familiarity. After all, Celine had been the one to encourage Zoe to break dance on stage and be as lively as she wanted to. Want to tell Mira not to worry about her ex family if they wanted to come for her, because she would make sure to take care of it. It's just as Rumi had expected. Not hostility, but at least some of discomfort. She almost expected Mira to tune Celine out whenever she asked for her to pass something down. She almost expected Zoe to keep her questions to herself, to only reply when spoken to. They do neither of those things. They seem polite and like perfect house guests, but Rumi supposes that's where it ends. Zoe doesn't ask Celine any questions deeper than her cooking, like she used to on holidays between their tours. Mira only ever hums in response whenever Celine directs a question to her, and she only eats enough to seem satisfactory. I feel like we need a scene like this in the sequel. Like, we need a scene of like all three of them with Celine, because like we didn't get that at all in the original. Like, and we need some, like, we need to see how they feel, 69K nice. Oh, were there 69K likes? Oh, sorry, I lost where I was. They're being polite for her sake, Rumi realizes. They're being polite only because they think that it would be easier for Rumi. And it's that regard for her, that sacrifice that they made for her, that tugs at something in Rumi's chest and twists it so hard she can hardly breathe. But then, oh my God, I love mixing up their names for no reason. It's literally written right there. But then Zoe glances over at her while Celine tries to finish off her short ribs, and she smiles. Mira kicks her lightly in the ankle, not to annoy, but to give a quiet affirmation that she's there, that they're both right there with her. Celine sighs. It's practically inaudible, but Rumi has lived with her long enough to tie her actions to different emotions. That little sigh through her nose means that she's had enough. Celine puts down her chopsticks. Her food is still half eaten. Subconsciously, Rumi puts down her utensils too. Then Zoe and Mira do, like they'd been watching for a cue from her. The room falls silent. No clicking of plates against bowls or mugs against plates, or the sound of polite back and forths about the best way to grill beef. Rumi can hear her own heart beating deep in her ears. And Seline says, ever so quietly, I know the three of you well enough that you wouldn't come here just to eat with me. And you wouldn't ask me to just have lunch with you, Rumi replies shortly. The tone of her voice almost makes her wince, but she tells herself that it's warranted. Celine looks at her like she knows it's defensible too. There are many things that I've done to you that I can't undo, Celine says softly, her hand trembling ever so slightly as she picks up her water to drink. But you know I will always be here to answer when you call for me. You know that. Rumi's eyes prick with those ungodly tears. She has to rapidly blink them away. I don't have a reason to, Rumi says evenly. Jesus Christ. She's proud of herself when her voice doesn't wobble. I've made it this far without your help. I know that you know it too. If you have something to ask me, then ask it, and we can work something out and have it be done with. Period. I'm so proud of my girl. Period. Period. Oh my God. Block, delete, block, delete, block, delete. Oh, I'm so proud of my girl. She hates that she sounds like she's making a business deal over the table with someone from the company. She's proud of it at the same time, too, as much as she abhors it all the same. Celine looks back and forth between her eyes. If she's trying to find a weakness in Rumi, she won't find it. Period. Okay, Celine sighs. She puts down her cup of water with the slightest thud, and it almost makes Rumi flinch. I won't keep the three of you here longer than I have to. I just wanted to discuss the possibility of a potential break following your tour to focus on solo pursuits. Rumi gapes at her. Zoe drops her spoon away from her mouth, and Mira openly stares with her set jaw. What? Rumi asks, mouth numb. Solo pursuits? Zoe echoes. Rumi's solo pursuits? Mira adds, baffled, angry, and in disbelief. Celine looks down at her food to continue to eat. The set line of her mouth tells Rumi that she had been expecting their reactions. Not just Rumi's, Celine calmly explains. All three of you. I know Rumi's fond of her acting, and I've seen Zoe eye the post production team, and Mira has a stack of ambassadorships high enough to make any idol on this planet jealous. I know that the three of you have enough talent to do well in any career you could ever imagine. That career is with Huntrix, Rumi replies, defensive and with her hackles raised. She's baffled that Celine would even suggest something like this. After years of, and you were the one who told us that we needed to keep this group together. Zoe eagerly nods her agreement. Her eyes are wide, but Rumi can't tell if it's with her agreement or with her fear. The honeymoon, the honeymoon is sealed, Celine asserts, and Zoe clamps her mouth shut. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get mad as fuck. She sighs and reaches over for some more kimchi as she explains. It's not the golden honeymoon that I expected, but it's strong. I know you girls can feel it too. Demons can hardly breach our grounds anymore. If I had to guess, it may stay like that for a while, long enough to pursue things to the side. Celine glances up at Rumi, which brings me back to you three. Rumi's not even sure what to say. So she's grateful when Mira asks hotly, You have no right to tell us we have to leave the group we worked our asses for, Celine. I'm not taking that away from you. It would be temporary, Celine replies, still infuriatingly calm. And I'm only asking. This should have been a conversation between me and Rumi, but since all three of you are here, I suppose it makes my job in offering the proposition easier. You think Rumi would have agreed? Zoe asks, half amused and half baffled. Scoffing, she turns to look at Rumi, who's still mute with shock. Rumi would never agree to anything like that. Right, Rumi? She wants to say yes. She wants to agree with Zoe so badly. But she sees that look in Celine's eye, the one that she's trusted when she had ridden a bike when she was when she was 6, and that same look when Celine had told her that it was going to be okay, that she just needed to set her arm right after she had broken it from falling from a tree, and the pain would be so brief she wouldn't even remember it. She was 14. She had practiced trying to climb trees so that she could kill the demons that hide up there. She remembers the pain. Rumi asks quietly but evenly, "You wouldn't suggest it unless you had a really good reason for it. So why?" That moment catches Celine off guard. She sets her face straight again, but Rumi had caught it, and now she knows. She knows that there is something that Celine is keeping from her. "It's the most sensible choice," Celine says. And it's such a Celine answer for her to give that Rumi almost laughs. Huntrix is strong. The strongest group of hunters, the strongest group the hunters have had in a very, very long time. It also means that it can afford the three of you some leeway. I have no doubts that you all have separate dreams, separate wants, wishes. That doesn't mean, Mira growls. They do. Rumi has always wanted to pursue some more acting and maybe some solo songs to put out in the world. She knows that Zoe has expressed her wishes to finish her bucket list of visiting every aquarium in the world and to finally go out on an expedition to meet some whales. Plus, she's crazy talented with producing other songs that don't necessarily fit on a Huntrix track list. And she knows that Mira has a penchant. I've never had to read that out loud. And she knows that Mira has a penchant for modeling, for plastering her face in front of every billboard and commercial and advertisement to wipe it all over her brother's face that she's the most beloved one. She remembers Mira admitting something about wanting to grow a garden someday too. This would give them the chance to do all those things. And the demon in the back of her mind whispers, "And it would get them away from you. They'll be able to finally be without you, no longer tied to you." Then it clicks. It clicks for her why Celine may want something like this. Over the sounds of Mira and Zoe clamoring over Celine's calm replies, Rumi asks, "You just want us separated from each other. Why?" It goes against everything Celine had told them over the years, that hunters need to stick together, that the three of them need to have each other's backs, that the home moon is only strong when their bond is strong. For her to ask something like this means that Celine had been possessed or that there was something more to it. Celine exhales through her nose. Her shoulders visibly slump, and she puts down her chopsticks to glance up at Rumi, only to look away again and stare at her food. Like Rumi is still the blinding sun to her, and she can't look for too long. It still hurts. I'll give you three. I'll give the three of you a chance to grow, Celine insists quietly. Rumi has never seen her look so tired and aged before. Think of it as an incredible opportunity. Hunters in the past. That is not, Rumi interrupts, her voice barely above the tone in the room, quietly furious. What I asked, Celine, and you know it. Silent, Zoe and Mira look back and forth between them. Neither of them contribute to the conversation. They can feel the energy. Oh shit. They can feel the energy coming off of Rumi in waves. The anger that tells them to keep their mouths shut. Celine taps the side of her plate. Her jaw is working, like she's testing out the words in her mouth for the first time. Rumi just stares at her, straight backed and unmoving. Everything I have ever done, Rumi, I did because I wanted to protect you. All of you, Seline says. She swallows and shifts, and Rumi mirrors her. I'm not asking you to agree with my choices, that my choices have been the best for you, but everything I've done, I did so you were prepared to meet a world that wouldn't be kind. Ruby's fist flexes in and out on the table. She can feel her fingertips going numb. She didn't come here for a lecture, to hear an apology, because she spent months working away from that, months accepting it and believing that it may never come. That's nice and all, Mira interrupts, her voice light. But what does that have to do with asking us to break up the group? Celine's mouth presses in a thin line. Rumi doesn't say anything about it. She knows that there's more that Celine isn't telling them, but forcing her to say it out loud would only make things worse, and she may never get the answer. Rumors about the three of you, Celine says simply. She looks back up at Rumi, and Rumi's heart plummets straight into her stomach. This is great. This is great. This is awesome. This is amazing, actually. Uh, Celine is mad because she didn't get to have that. Celine is just mad. Celine is just mad. Sorry, my thing. I just dropped something. I'm trying to put it back up. Like, okay, Celine. No need to be jealous, girl. Ah. Okay. Sorry, I've been going at it for a long time. I'm collecting myself. You told me not to care about it, Rumi answers, mouth dry. Because they're harmless until they aren't. I don't have to guess that it's the beginning to breach. I don't have to guess that it's beginning to breach past harmless with you three. Celine's jaw rolls. What does that mean, girl? Oh, what does that mean? Mira asks defensively. Me and Mira, we're like this. We're like this. Celine glances at her like she's been expecting the question. You haven't noticed that it's been affecting how you think? How could you know that? Rumi wants to ask. Celine continues. You're lucky it's only been a couple months, or that you haven't been on stage together yet. I bring it up now because it's early. Think of how it's going to affect all three of you on your tour, your relationships with each other, your work. That's what you're worried about? That's it? Zoe exclaims. Her jaw drops in disbelief. She looks over at Rumi, weighs frantically, and asks, "Is that who you is that who you get your argues about stupid stuff jeans from?" That's so funny. Every famous person on this planet has to deal with this at some point. It's better to nip it in the bud, prevent it from getting any bigger than it is now. Celine continues, like Zoe hadn't interrupted. As it stands, the three of you are the most famous people alive. Your whole lives are constantly combed through and examined by more than half of the population. The relationships you have with other people, with each other, will be scrutinized until the day you die. And Mira scoffs and pushes away her plate like she can't believe it. That she can't believe she even has to sit there and listen to it all. So what? You don't think we know that? You don't think we haven't had to experience that for what, over 6 years? And do you know how many celebrities out there have given into it? Subtly, Celine's nose flares. It's the closest thing to frustration Rumi has It's the closest thing to frustration Rumi has ever seen splattered on her face. I have more friends taking drugs and blowing their money on prostitutes and gambling and God knows what than friends who don't. Mira snaps. So you're worried that's going to happen to us? And your best solution is to rip us away from each other, keep us from leaning on another? If it lessens the pressure on the three of you, yes, Celine says, looking exasperated. How close you are to each other is exactly what's worsening the eyes on you three. This is so typical of Seline. This is so like, oh my god, girl, you haven't changed. It's such good Celine characterization here too. Like, oh my god, like yes. God. What? Zoe asks, confused and bewildered. Rumi pokes at her food, head down at her plate. She answers quietly. She's talking about the speculation on our relationship and that we're just making it worse. She can feel Mira and Zoe burning holes into her head. She doesn't look up to meet their eyes. How are we making it worse when we're doing whatever we usually do? Mira asks incredulously. She's looking back and forth between Rumi and Celine. You told us not to say anything about it online or in interviews, so we don't. You told us not you told us not to pay any shit to it, so we don't. Now you're saying it helped, Mira, but clearly this is bigger than the three of you can handle. Celine defends. She doesn't deliver it in any sharp way, but Mira still flinches. I'm not blaming anyone on in this table for anything. In fact, the blame should have been on me. I should have known that this would happen. I should have prevented the three of you. How? Zoe asks again, but the perplexity on her face is replaced with something close to anger. By making sure we sit 5 feet apart from each other at award ceremonies, stopping us from talking about each other on radio shows? I'm just saying that when the world believes something about the three of you, it would take a miracle to reverse it, Celine says, her face impassive as steel. Do you know how incredibly fortunate we are that everyone believed that your takedown performance was advertising for a comeback? That the world saw Rumi's markings and only chided her for being a rebellious idol with a streak for individuality rather than call her a demon? She says it like an insult, a curse. Rumi flinches. Zoe inhales sharply. Mira's bottom lip trembles like she's trying everything in her power not to lash out. The silence in the room is long, cold. Celine sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. She slumps into her chair and she quietly says, it's always it always seems funny in the beginning. It'll start with fans who scream at you to kiss during concerts. Then every question they ask at Q&As will be about your bedroom, about your relationships rather than your music. They'll focus more on the make-believe notions they made about you than who you are.